Region 1 battle. Murphy comes in riding a 2-game losing streak with an embarrassing shutout loss to McGill last week. Across the gridiron, Baker's riding high with a 3-game winning streak of their own. Can the Panthers refocus and pick up a big region win, or will the Hornets engage their stingers and strike fear into Murphy to secure their 5th win in a row against the Panthers? We'll find out next with the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Al Wheaton, joined by Corey LeBounty. Down on the sidelines, we have Mike Herndon. Corey, we're back to region play, and we've got a big ball game tonight.
This game has always decided over the last 3 or 4 years who's going to get a playoff spot.
Yeah.
And it may not be tonight, but sometimes you have to wait till the end of week number 10 to find out if you're in or not. And this is one of those games to where when you're looking at after 6 weeks of play, 4 weeks from now, this game can determine your playoff fate.
Both teams come in at 3-1 in region play, and it is a lot up for grabs tonight. So let's get to your checklist while we can. Baker is the home team. What does Baker need to do to get the win tonight, Corey?
Well, you're looking at Baker. They have to get off the field on 3rd down. They have to be stinger stingy to make sure that Murphy is punting the football. They also have to limit explosive plays. And what do I consider explosive plays? Plays in which it goes for 20 yards or more. And they also have to have great special teams play, Al. For the Murphy Panthers, they must be physical. This week in practice, they went back to the old Oklahoma drills.
I heard that.
There's some defensive changes that have taken place, so you can look for Murphy to be very physical up front. They have to score in the red zone, and that's going to be very important also to put points on the board when you have that opportunity within the 20-yard line. And they have to eliminate Panther penalties. Get out of their own way. Don't shoot themselves in the foot. If they're able to do that, we should have a spectacular finish tonight.
Yeah, I think we're set up for a real great ball game. Let's take it down to the field. Check out game field conditions with Mike Herndon.
I tell you what, fall has fallen. It's unseasonably mild for Southwest Alabama. But a beautiful night for football. The field looks in great shape, and despite the fact that we had a hurricane come through this area a couple weeks ago, no real damage to the field other than the Clem Richardson sign over the scoreboard. So it'll be a great night for football here in Baker.
Thank you, Mike. We appreciate that. We're moments away from kickoff, so we're going to take a break and come back. It is Murphy versus Baker. Big region ball game tonight in the Hornets' Nest. Don't move.
What's the matter, baby? You're not feeling good?
School-aged children are at a higher risk of getting and spreading germs and viruses. To help protect the spread, students are encouraged to stay home when sick. Parents, it's important for your child to remain at home at least 24 hours after they no longer have a fever of 100 degrees or higher without the use of medications. Please help us maintain a healthy learning environment.
We welcome you back to Clem Richardson Stadium here on the campus of Baker High School, the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. And Corey, we have a great one lined up tonight. Both of these teams 3-1 in the region and almost somewhat evenly matched when you come into this ball game.
And that's all you can ask for in this situation. And because of it, you're looking at a great contest between two evenly matched 7A Region 1 teams.
The Baker Hornets. All right, let's take a look at the Future One's forecast right now. Corey, game kickoff conditions 68 degrees, 44% humidity, no chance of rain for the entire night, but look at that temperature. It's going to drop as we get into 8, 9 o'clock, dropping down to about 62 degrees. Typically, we get out of here between 9:30, 9:45, but the humidity is going to rise, of course. I see that you brought your trousers and you brought your jacket, your windbreaker tonight, so you're ready.
fall is in the air, as Mike Herndon alluded to, and because of it being high atop this press box, I had to make sure that I did not get the chill bumps as we continue to get deeper into this contest.
Let's take a look at the impact players before we get to kickoff. But, Corey, let's hold on to that because referee Sean Kelly and his crew, they have broken from their huddle. Baker won the toss, and they have deferred to the second half. Murphy will be receiving the ball, so going back for them, look for Deshaun Brooks and Khalil Johnson to take this kickoff. Headed your way from Peyton Engel as we're moments away from kickoff here inside of Clem Richardson Stadium. We talked with Coach Norman before the ball game. The only damage to the stadium, they had a few shingles in one of the snack shacks, but the name of Clem Richardson, the Clem part is missing, Corey, on the scoreboard.
Yeah, it is. I mean, when you consider the amount of wind damage that was done across Mobile and Baldwin County, only to have a little bit of signage blown out,
right.
Baker definitely caught the break in that situation. But this field looks beautiful and immaculate. 2 weeks in a row, we've seen great playing surfaces on natural grass.
Right, last week at MGM and today here at Baker. I was doing some turf management this morning at the house. Asked Coach Norman, are you cutting it a little lower? He said, yeah, so look for some speed tonight because we do have some speedsters on the field. Deshaun Brooks is going to take that kickoff at about the 15-yard line, and he is leveled at the 25. So we'll get a look at the Murphy offense as they come onto the field, led by senior quarterback Alex Howell. He's a 59% passer and has thrown for nearly 500 yards and rushed for almost 150 on the ground. The Panthers are missing their big running back, Ferris Wheeler, tonight. He's out with the injury, so Khalil Johnson's going to get the start. Outside, look for Tanaka Scott and Al Robinson to haul in passes from Howell. They are the Panthers' top receivers. Up front, a few changes taking place for tonight's game. Sophomore Malachi Howard slides over from right tackle to center, and Douglas Boyce will be handling right tackle duties. The Panthers average 267 pounds as Johnson takes that ball up to the 30-yard line on Murphy's first play.
Kel Britford, the 5'10", 170-pound junior on the stop, has 14 solo tackles so far. A good positive yardage gain on first down for the Murphy Panthers. But before this game started, it was senior night here at Baker.
That's right.
To where they honored the football players prior to. So Coach said they had 26 seniors on his roster, and all of them were honored before the game.
Yeah, we're going to play a little video later on for that as they honor. They have a ton of students over here at Baker High School, the largest high school in Mobile County and second in the state. And on second down, Khalil Johnson's probably going to go nowhere on that one. No gain, I'm thinking, Corey. It's third. Well, yeah, it's going to bump him back a little bit. It'll be third and long here coming up for the Panthers.
Javaris Jackson, the 6'3", 275-pound senior, making a nice stop for the Baker Hornets. And with the loss of yardage, now they're behind the chains down and distance-wise. You know, you look for Tanaka Scott right here in one-on-one coverage at the top of your screen.
Three receivers to the bottom here for the Panthers as Howell's looking to connect. He's going to keep it. Not enough to pick up the first down. He's going to be short. So it looks like the Panthers are going to have to punt this one away.
The inside tandem of Terry Kirksey and Trey Phalo getting the stop for the Hornets, and it's going to bring up 4th down and 2. And here at the beginning of the game, I think you want to go ahead and flip the field instead of going for it deep in your own territory. But, hey, look, it's a situation to where no holds barred for the Murphy Panthers. Maybe a quick kick here if you're the Panthers.
Or maybe try to draw Baker offside. So Murphy not punting here. It appears as if they're going to go for it. Coach Rico Jackson's going to take the gamble. And it does appear as if Howell's trying to draw him off the play clock under 5 seconds. And Coach Rico Jackson, as we know him, calls timeout, Corey.
That is him, his M.O. He does not take those timeouts back to Midtown with him. He goes ahead and utilizes. I think a couple of weeks ago, we saw him call 3 timeouts in the first quarter alone. So he is going to use all the timeouts at his disposal. You're looking at the impact players tonight, and making an impact in tonight's 7A Region 1 game for the Murphy Panthers, Tanaka Scott. He's going to play both sides of the football, a wide receiver and cornerback. Cornerback being his new position this week full-time. Jabyron Nettles also the big plugger for the Murphy Panthers. And for Baker, Terry Kirksey. He's an outstanding linebacker to go along with the running back offensively, Jay Sean McMillan.
Yeah, you just talked about Kirksey. So on to punt for the Panthers, Traven McDaniel back to receive for Baker. Looks like it's going to be Ladarian Craig, I believe. Or if not, it'll be Javen Williams. Get a look at the number. Terry Waters actually back there, and that punt is shanked by McDaniel, and not very much on the punt. So Baker comes out. Their offense at the helm for the Hornets is junior quarterback Landon Larry. He's a 52% passer, has 5 touchdowns and 3 interceptions on the season. Wideout Jamari Hawkins, he can catch it for Baker, and he can run it. He also leads the team in all-purpose yards. Javen Williams has great hands, averages about 20 yards of reception, but the Hornets love to run it. When they do, just your impact player you talked about, Corey, look out for Ja'Shawn McMillan to be carrying the rock as he is lined up next to Larry in the backfield. Larry rolling out, does have a guy open and gets that one connected. Jamari Hawkins, just talked about him, leads the team in all-purpose yardage. Bet about an 8-yard pickup for the Hornets.
Makes his 20th reception of the season. Great job of Landon Larry rolling outside of the pocket, and a great route by Hawkins in that situation because he separated himself from the defensive back, and it's going to be a first down for the Hornets.
So that's enough to move the stick. So they're going to hand this one off to Ja'Shawn McMillan as he goes up the middle. Great run and burst of speed as McMillan picks up another first down from my vantage point here atop the press box.
Anytime you can get to the second level, you know your offensive line has done a great job. Tyrese Williams with the stop for the Murphy Panthers, and anytime that the push is as good as it's been so far on these first couple of possessions, Baker is in business.
So after Murphy goes 3 and out, the Hornets on the move trying to get into the red zone. McMillan takes it into the red zone, puts it at about the 16-yard line. And Baker is on the move so far.
Isaac Williams, the third, from a strong safety position, makes his 27th tackle of the season. But you're looking at this push and the positive yardage that the Baker Hornets have gotten so far on this drive. They're just dominating the line of scrimmage these last 2 runs and are running great routes. So you can tell the scripted plays by offensive coordinator Justin Patterson has been superb and executed well this first couple of minutes.
Ball sitting at the 16-yard line. They go back to McMillan, and he is met at the line of scrimmage by a few Panthers. Looks like maybe a 1-yard gain there for the Hornets.
Jalen Williams with the stop, the big defensive tackle. He's a senior for the Murphy Panthers, and now you're at 3rd down and 2 yards to go. The Panthers are trying to deny the Hornets in the red zone area, switching personnel. And the thing is, once you get the personnel in that you would like, the execution has to be there with enough time on the play clock and 10 seconds left right here before they break this huddle.
Larry comes out of the ball game, so it looks as if the Hornets are going into a wildcat formation here. Ja'Shawn McMillan waiting to take this snap and does have it off to Hawkins as he cuts around the edge, and that's a 15-yard. Is it a touchdown, Corey? Let's see what they mark it. That's a touchdown, 15-yard touchdown on the end-around run by Jamari Hawkins.
Great job. No containment. The only person who had an opportunity to catch him was cornerback Tanaka Scott, but Hawkins, the 5'9", 170-pound junior, with his 28th rush on the season, adds to his 187-yard totals. Now he's close to 200 yards on the season, the point after pending for the Hornets.
The kick is up, and Baker is on top 7-0 early in the contest at the 7:37 mark. Let's take a look at the replay coming up here.
You bounce outside of that containment, which they did, and Hawkins does a good job of finding that pylon, stretching out, putting 6 on the board.
So the Hornets on top 7-0 early in the contest. Corey, I'm trying everything I can to hear you here atop the Baker press box. The PA system is right next to me, and brother, it is on crunk, right, if you know what I'm saying.
Tony Scarborough, he is the PA announcer. He's the legendary Hall of Fame girls softball coach, but does a great job calling for the Baker Hornets. That was a 5-play, 44-yard drive for the Baker Hornets that led to 6 points on the board.
Here's some video of senior night that we recorded earlier. Baker is going to do senior night for the next 3 ball games, Corey. They have 3 in a row coming up. Next week they have Pine Forest and Fairhope, but these are some of the images earlier from the ball game. Coach Norman told me they have to separate it in 3 weeks because of social distancing. Basically, that's what it comes down to. We have been here before, And when they do senior night at Baker, oh my goodness, it could be 30, 40 minutes by the amount of kids that they have participating, not just in football, but basketball, volleyball, band, bowling, track, so many sports.
But here's the biggest thing. You want to go ahead and recognize these seniors as soon as possible.
That's right.
Because you don't know when COVID may take away a home game for you. So I'm glad they were able to get and honor the football team here prior to the game.
Hornets on top, 7-0. Deshaun Brooks is going to take that one, and he's coming to our side right here in front of the Baker home side and takes it up to the 49-yard line. Great return by Brooks for the Panthers.
And you're looking at this Murphy Panther offense that came in averaging 15.8 points per game. They stalled on that first drive. I guarantee offensive coordinator and head coach Rico Jackson's going to make the adjustments. But it's a great return now on Murphy's second possession. They get the ball right at midfield. Will have an opportunity with the full playbook at the disposal of offensive coordinator Rico Jackson being at the 50-yard line.
All right, two backs behind Howell. 1st and 10, ball on the 50. Howell looking for someone, cannot find a receiver. That one is incomplete as he was trying to get it out to his wide out there and couldn't connect. It'll be 2nd down for the Panthers.
Tried to hit the back shoulder throw to Joshua Reynolds. He's a junior wide receiver, wasn't able to connect with them. And you're looking now that this Hornet defense, again, being very stingy. Defensive coordinator J.C. Todd gives up 16 points per game. But again, Baker 3-1 in the region, right alongside of Murphy, having that overall 3-2 record, have putting together a string of wins and are trying to continue the great defensive dominance that they've had the last couple of weeks. 3
receivers here to the near side. They fake it to Javante Carter, and they go to Tanaka Scott on a little bubble screen there, Corey. And Baker responds. That play took a long time to develop. It's 3rd and 10 for the Panthers.
Anytime you have to cut back to the middle of the field and the blockers cannot sustain that, that screen gets blown up because you normally want to take that screen and try to bounce to the outside to the numbers instead of cutting it back to the inside. That's where the teeth and the heart of the defense was for the Baker Hornets. Now you're looking at a 3rd down and 10 situation for this Murphy offense. So they have a plethora of wide receivers, but being without their big running back, Ferris Wheeler, that makes a difference on early down and distance situations.
It really does. They're going to go to Khalil Johnson, and he has met squarely in the backfield. LaDarian Craig helping out. I'm sorry, Terry Kirksey in on that tackle, and someone else, Corey. I didn't get his number, but Baker was in the backfield waiting on Khalil Johnson.
Outstanding defensive stop. Now when you're right here with a 2-yard loss, you went nowhere on 3 downs, but lose 2 yards. It looks like there is going to be a flag on the play as we take a look at this instant replay.
One of the Panthers lost their helmet, but Sean Kelly and his crew are discussing things. Right now the ball is placed at the 48-yard line. It's our 3rd ball game featuring Sean Kelly and his crew on the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week, so he's quite familiar with us and us with him, Corey.
No question about it. He knows where to find that camera and make the correct call.
It's a 15-yard penalty. With the yardage, it's a 1st down.
So unsportsmanlike on the Hornets. I did notice one of the Panthers linemen, his helmet was off maybe back here about the 30-yard line. And that's going to keep Murphy's drive alive with that 15-yard unsportsmanlike. Wow.
Huge break for the Murphy Panthers and the exact break that they needed to try to get a little momentum going right here. Tanaka Scott at the bottom of your screen has single coverage. I'll be interested to see if Alex Howell looks him off or tries to go to him over the top directly for a deep ball.
Ball on the 37-yard line of Baker. It's just going to hand this one off to Carter. And he was trying to duck and dodge a couple of the Hornets tacklers brought down at the 30-yard line. 2nd and short, great run by Javante Carter.
And if you have blocking by your wide receivers, along with him being able to make one single move, it's 6 on the board. But on 1st down, that's the first time we've seen the Panthers get positive yardage on early down and distance situations.
So, as you like to say, Corey, stay ahead of the sticks when you can. And Murphy sitting right here, 2nd and 3. Gonna go back to Carter. He's trying to turn the corner and runs into those Hornets again. Maybe about a half-yard pickup on that one. It'll be 3rd and short.
third down and close to a long 3 yards to go. We'll call it, I'm going to call it 3.
Yeah, I'm going to call it 3 too.
I think it's a long 3 in that situation, Al, but now you're at a situation to where, to me, you are in 4-down territory early in this game if you're Rico Jackson, because you know what the kicker's range is.
Right.
Edie Binga.
Edie Bingy, his range is about 35 yards and in, so they're just outside of his window. They need to get this first down here to keep this drive going at 5:04 in the first quarter. Rayshawn Kidd Bryant comes in on offense to help out. I believe he is down, Corey. So that's enough for the first down. Nice run by Rayshawn Kidd Bryant.
And that's something we saw them do a couple of weeks ago against the Theodore Bobcats.
That's
Put
correct.
him in the running back situation. He runs extremely hard for the Murphy Panthers. You look at the replay, he just ducks his head and plows forward, knows exactly where the sticks are, and does pick up a huge first down.
Trying to bring that same spark to the ball game tonight. Going back to Bryant again, he picks up 2 or 3. It'll be second down. We'll call it 7 here for the Panthers.
Javaris Jackson, the 6'3", 275-pound senior nose tackle on the stop for the Hornets. But 1 or 2 yards on first down gives you an opportunity. You've had success running the football to set up that play action and hit one of those quick bubble screens or quick out passes to these electric wide receivers that the Murphy Panthers do have.
Tanaka Scott moving to the top of the screen just outside the number. They fake it to Deshaun Brooks. Khalil Johnson comes in, takes the carry, and he is wrapped up by the Hornets. Maybe picks up 1 yard. It's going to be 3rd and short here, Corey.
Heavy dose of running as you see Alex Howell go over to the sidelines, get the call from offensive coordinator and head coach Rico Jackson, and he's going to bring the play back in. There's 20 seconds remaining on the play clock, so plenty of time to break the huddle and go ahead and get your team in the correct formation offensively. But I'm going to continue to say it. Tanaka Scott being outside on the island, I want to see how long it takes Howell to even look to him.
So no gain on that play. They toss it off to Deshaun Brooks on a little jet sweep. And, boy, the Hornets defense is all on it tonight. J.C. Todd has his guys together, Corey. It's another 4th down here coming up for the Panthers.
The Hornets swarming around the football. That's Terry Kirksey, the middle linebacker, one of our impact players, 6'3", 215-pound senior. Brings up 4th down and 6 yards to go with the ball right at the 17-yard line.
Looks like the 16. I'm gonna say the 16 right there, Corey.
All right, so you're looking at that being a 33-yard field goal attempt coming up for the Panthers.
Edie Bingy coming out here. Looks like going to place it maybe about the 24, 23, about 23-yard line. So
delay a game.
And the play clock has run out. Or
timeout. They're going to give Murphy the timeout.
Coach Jackson's timeout is being honored. So at 2:30, Coach Jackson gets the timeout in before Edie Bingy can come out to kick that ball. Corey, as we said, his range is about 35 and in. So right here, this will be a 33, 34-yarder coming up for the young man. 8 of 11 on his extra points on the season. He's attempted 1 field goal so far. He's 0 for 1. This will be his 2nd field goal attempt coming up here tonight.
Well, it would have been huge right there if that penalty would have been called, because that'll back you up 5 yards and make it a little bit further. If you have a good snap, a good hold, it gives your kicker an opportunity to do what he excels at. And again, we haven't seen the Murphy Panthers kick a lot of field goals this season, but coming out of this timeout, they're lined up. The kicker is walking it off the down and distance, and he's going to get a good look. Square on the right hash mark, and he wants it to go from right to left and get 3 through the goalpost.
So I'm going to call the 24-yarder because that's where the holder is putting the tee right there at the 24-yard line. So we'll call this a 34-yard field goal coming up here for the Panthers. Also coming up for you between the first and second quarter, we'll take a look at the Alabama Sports Writers Association top 10 polls. There's a snap. Bingy puts it up. And it is no good. So the attempt no good as the Panthers get nothing out of that drive, Corey.
Looks like it had plenty of leg.
It did.
But from where we are, you couldn't tell whether it was wide right or wide left. You just saw it have plenty of distance.
Let's take a look at the offense for Baker. We talked about them on their previous possession. Landon Larry, he is leading the team. He's a 52% passer with 5 touchdowns, has 3 picks on the season. Wideout Jamari Hawkins, we saw him score for them, leading the team in all-purpose yardage. He can run it, he can catch it. Also, Javen Williams has great hands for the Hornets. He averages 20 yards of receptions. Also, they love running it. We've seen Ja'Shawn McMillan. He's going to carry the rock tonight, averaging 5 yards a carry. The upperclassman offensive line of the Hornets averages 278 pounds as they take possession of this ball right here at their own 20-yard line. Hand off to McMillan. Comes to the near side. He's going to be tackled probably about the 28-yard line. Great run for Ja'Shawn McMillan.
Isaac Williams III again pushes him out of bounds. Anytime we start mentioning the secondary members being the primary tackler, that means the offensive line and the running back have done a great job getting to that second and third level.
Second and short coming up here, maybe about 2 yards for the Baker Hornets, having a great first quarter so far. A minute 51 remaining here in the first quarter on their first possession. They punch it into the end zone. Baker coming out there with that muddle huddle, as you like to call it, Corey. A little stutter step from McMillan to hold close, but he waited. It opened back up. He picked up about 1 yard. Take a look at the Panthers' defense. They play a 4-3 and average 233 pounds with senior defensive end Jaquan Evans leading the team in sacks. He has 7.5. Strong safety Isaac Williams is the team's leading tackler, has nearly 50 on the year and 2 sacks. In the secondary, Andre Hunt will be ball hawking. And we talked about 6'4" wideout Tanaka Scott coming over from offense to help out in the secondary. I believe we have a flag on the play coming up here.
Nice hard count by the Baker Hornets.
Smart
and that's
move.
going to give the Hornets a
snap.
first down.
That encroachment on the defense. With the yardage, it'll be a first down.
Smart move by offensive coordinator Justin Patterson. Had him on the toes and just dropped the hard count and got him. Sean Kelly, we talked about it. This is our 3rd ball game with him and his crew. Also helping him out, Dick Forward-Day, Sam Fairley, Anthony Garrett, Willard Ford, Jamari Harris, and Carl McDowell. We saw all those men on the field earlier before the ball game. Corey had a chance to chat with him. Our 3rd time seeing him this season.
Yeah, I mean, very familiar crew, but Baker's trying to march down the field right now.
A little jet sweep handoff to Hawkins. I told you they're going to go to him a lot tonight. He can do a lot with it. That's a first down, and the Hornets are in Panthers territory.
It's a great breathing opportunity for Ja'Shawn McMillan, very similar to what Theodore does. You look at that blocking on the left side of the football for the Baker Hornets, and Hawkins, once he gets past the line of scrimmage, turns on the burners.
Big pickup for the Hornets. Landon Larry sets up this little quick bubble screen, gets it out to his receiver, Terry Waters. And Waters goes backwards, Corey. It's going to be a loss on that play there.
They're going to give him yard to gain, which is no gain, actually, so it'll bring up second down and 10 yards to go.
Give him his forward progress.
It
so
did.
No gain on the play.
Will honor that. And it's a good job of Waters holding on to the football. He was 1 block away from having an opportunity to spring that for a big one because, again, Baker's been running the football to set up the pass. And in that situation, we're going to be at the end of the first quarter.
That's going to wrap it up. Baker on top, 7-0 over Murphy. Great first half. Both teams had the ball 2 times. We're going to get ready to bring you state polls coming up here from the Alabama Sports Writers Association. We'll be right back. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
Starts with us. That's why we offer Signature Academies.
Hello, I'm Jordan Clark, and I'm in the Health Service Academy at John L. LaFleur Magnet High School. My future career is to be an obstetrician-gynecologist. With this academy, I'm learning firsthand from people already working in the industry. Shadowing them on the job really makes me want to study hard and work harder towards my career goal. Signature Academies are open to all students in Mobile County Public High Schools. Visit mcpss.com.
It's a fact. Bullying happens. Bullying can lead to serious physical and emotional pain. But there are some things you can do to prevent or stop it. Stand up for the person who's being bullied. Let the bully know that it's not cool to pick on others. Take action by reporting the bully to a teacher or principal. In the end, when you help someone who's being bullied, you are also helping yourself.
I'm here with a VIP at Baker High School, Principal John Peru. And Mr. Peru, senior night tonight looks a little bit different than past years. How are we doing that this year?
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for being here, Mike. You know, I like to say everything's bigger at Baker, and that's definitely true with all of our seniors. We have so many that we decided to break it up over 3 games. So tonight we had our football players. Next week we'll have our band members, and the following week we'll have our Azalea Trail Maids and our cheerleaders. So we had to break it up.
And the school year's looked a little bit different too, obviously. We'll be next Monday starting having some students on campus. Tell us a little bit about how that's going to work.
Yeah, we're pumped over here at Baker. We're really looking forward to getting our kids back on campus. So Monday we got the freshmen coming back, so we'll have about 339 kids coming. The following week we'll have our juniors, right around 150. Normally we're averaging about 630 a class. So normally we have about 2,500 kids on campus. I look forward to right now having about 1,000, so we're looking forward to it. Our teachers are doing a great job with online learning, and now we're going to do a great job of teaching kids in front of us while we're teaching them online and home, so we're excited.
Tell us a little bit about how that may, the school day may look a little bit different here at Baker with class changes and let in and let out.
Well, everything is going to look different here at Baker. We've had to change our arrival, our dismissal. Everything will be staggered. When we change classes, we'll do it by grade level. When we come into the building, we'll do it by bus riders, car riders, and then our drivers. And then when we dismiss, we'll do that by grade level also.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Peru.
All right, guys. Appreciate y'all being here.
Appreciate that, Mike. As the Hornets break from the muddle huddle, and they give it off to Deontay Smith, Corey, and he hits a wall of Panthers, and he's not going to get the first down.
That's huge stop for this Murphy Panther defense led by defensive coordinator Tellis Stone. You give it to the upback, a.k.a. the fullback, Deontay Smith. He has almost 200 yards rushing on the season. He was not even able to get back to the line of scrimmage as this big defensive line comes up huge for the Murphy Panthers and gives life back to this Murphy Panther offense. And again, when you come out of that muddle huddle, you either have to look for a quick snap, a hard count, or just a half a yard gain. But again, credit the defense of Murphy for bowing up big time then.
So ball over on downs. Baker was successful with it earlier in the contest. Could not pick up the first down right there. Trip receivers to the bottom of the screen, and Howell was trying to connect with Tanaka Scott. Seems like something happened. I don't see any flags on the play. Kind of like the kid stopped playing for some reason, Corey.
I mean, even if he would have caught that football, he would have caught it out of bounds.
Right.
So I'm not sure whether it was an errant throw by quarterback Alex Howell or what the situation was, but that's the first time tonight that we've seen him target Tanaka Scott. It's going to bring up second down and 10 yards to go.
Stack receivers here on the near side as we have a fumble snap. And let's see who's going to land on top of this one, Corey.
That's going to be Khalil Johnson. And you know, anytime you have a quarterback center exchange problem, you look at, did the quarterback pull out too early? We'll say Alex Howell in that situation pulled out a little bit too soon away from his center, Malachi Howard.
Howard normally plays right tackle, so this first night playing center tonight, we were wondering if that was going to be a problem for the Panthers. So far, pretty good up to that point. And Khalil Johnson is rocked at the 35-yard line.
Great job by this Baker Horner defense.
I don't have a number on that young man on the depth chart, Corey. Let me look over. Gary Byers on the hit there, Corey. Don't have him on a depth chart for the Hornets, but he came in and rocked Khalil Johnson's world right then.
Just like that, I mean, you get a turnover and on downs are not able to do anything like it. Murphy goes 3 and out unless they attempt some type of fake punt here.
Second time the Panthers gone 3 and out tonight. McDaniel's punt almost tipped at the line. Almost blocked there is Javin Williams. He's going to fair catch it. Going to place it at the 39-yard line of the Hornets. And Baker is going to get the ball back in their own area.
Great.
Baker won this ball game last year, Corey, 31-28. But the Panthers have lost 4 straight to the Hornets. So Baker trying to pick up a 5th win in a row over Murphy if they can do that tonight. But a big region win with both of these teams notched at 3-1 in the region.
Yeah, I mean, we said at the beginning of this telecast that it was going to be an evenly matched contest. And so far, through a quarter and a half of play here at Clem Richards Stadium, that's exactly what we've seen, as the Hornets now are going to have an opportunity to try to get the football to a fresh Ja'Shawn McMillan.
Our second time featuring both of these teams this season. A little botch handoff between Larry and McMillan. Corey, maybe miscommunication going on right there.
Timing was not what it needed to be. You look at the replay and just a misstep, and like you said, that was lucky not to be a turnover. It's going to be a 7-yard loss. Great job of Rayshawn Kidd Bryant getting into the backfield, and he's one of those two-way players for the Murphy Panthers. As we've already seen him on offense tote the football. Now we see him get in the backfield and make a difference also.
5-yard loss on the play, ball at the 34-yard line. Kidd Bryant all in the backfield on that one. Larry's trying to air this one out, trying to connect with his receiver, Terry Waters, and that is incomplete. It's going to take Baker to 3rd and long.
Deshaun Brooks, the cornerback, he's a senior in defense on the play, did a good job, and there was plenty of air underneath that Landon Larry throw in that situation. Either one of them could come down with it, but the Panthers were Johnny on the spot, were able to knock it away, and like you mentioned now, brings up 3rd down and 17 yards to go for the Baker Hornets. And we saw Murphy convert earlier this year on 2nd and 50. It's hard to go to the offensive playbook for 3rd down and 17. You just want to try to get half of this yardage back.
Trip receivers here at the bottom of the screen. And Larry's just going to toss that one out to Ja'Shawn McMillan. Incomplete, takes Baker to 4th down. I said it earlier. We've seen both of these teams twice this year. We had Baker against Theodore and had Murphy against Davidson. Got to thank my folks at Firehouse Subs. Enjoy more subs and save more lives. A portion of subs purchase will go to the Firehouse Subs Public Safety Foundation, providing life-saving equipment to first responders. Thanks to Jim and Susie Sherman at Greenlight Road for taking care of us with Firehouse Subs. Also, Future Ones, where you can get your team apparel and equipment from baseball to wrestling, all sports in between. Wear the future with Future Ones. And, Corey, I'm wearing my Future One Gator tonight that you brought in. I appreciate it. Styling and profiling tonight, my brother.
No
I like
question.
it.
No question about it, brother.
That punt is shanked off by Peyton Engel. Going to take a little bounce up to about the 47-yard line of the Panthers. So I know Engel not happy about that punt he just delivered for the Hornets.
Yeah, lucky that it did go 13 or 14 yards on that punt, and you're able to get into your own territory, start Murphy in their own territory, but knocking on the door of the 50-yard line. We have not really seen the Panthers go beyond midfield so far here in the first half of play, but you're in excellent field position right here to start this drive.
The farthest they got down was to the Baker 24, I believe, early in the contest, and that pass pretty much is going to go backwards there. They get it to Tanaka Scott, Corey. It's going to be second. Maybe a 1-yard loss here looking at.
Baker coaches imploring a block in the back in that situation, and I thought I might have seen one, and that's what you see in the coaches on the sideline asking for right now. But it's a 1-yard loss on the play, and you look at Tanaka Scott, there's the block in the back right there. A nice little push, but they said that Reginald Jones didn't push hard enough to be called for it. 2nd and 11 for the Panthers.
A 1-yard loss on the play. Double stack receivers at the bottom. Tanaka Scott at the top. They hand it off to Khalil Johnson. Big hole. Corey LeBounty, you and I could have ran through that one together. Great run by Khalil Johnson into Baker Hornet territory.
And that's exactly what you have to do. Javante Carter showing the, that's going to be Khalil.
That's Khalil Johnson there.
Showing the explosiveness, hitting the hole, doing a good job of the offensive line, getting those big blocks as you're looking at Douglas Boyce opening up that hole for Khalil.
Boyce moving over to right tackle tonight as Malachi Howard moves to center, and they go back to Johnson again for about a 6 or 7 yard pickup, and 2 flags come in late after the play. Let's see what this call is going to be from our officiating crew.
And I'll have to give a shout out to that big offensive line. They don't get enough love. Devin Smith, Zykees James, Malachi Howard, Jalen Haston, and Douglas Boyce opening up holes on this drive for the Murphy Panthers as they're getting deeper in Baker's territory. Matter of fact, this is the deepest they've been in the first half.
Close to it. They did. Remember, they had that field goal attempt, of course, so they got down a little farther.
Offsetting penalties.
So offsetting penalties, unsportsmanlike conduct. That offensive line you talked about averages 267 pounds. So a lot of beef up there for those young men. So it's going to be first down and about 5 yards to go here coming up. Sorry, second down and 5 yards for the Panthers.
And that's what you want if you're the Panthers. Put yourself in a presentable down and distance situation.
Going back to Khalil Johnson once again, and look at him, Corey, nothing but green grass, and Khalil Johnson hits pay dirt. That's a touchdown, but a late flag on the play on the near side.
It may be coming back.
About a 30-yarder, but we're going to see what the call is. Tanaka Scott was sitting down and very upset where the flag came out.
It's going to be on the left side of the screen, right at the 30-yard line when it was called from the spot. If it is a holding.
Yeah, we just had offsetting unsportsmanlike just before that possible scoring run by Khalil Johnson. Sean Kelly and his crew discussing it. And you can see right there to the left, Coach Rico Jackson just waiting for the outcome.
And it looks like kickoff, it's going to stand.
So whatever it was against Baker.
We got, after the play, of unsportsmanlike on the defense. The same player has 2 unsportsmanlikes, so he's ejected.
Wow, that's huge.
I
That's
see Ladarian Craig coming to the sideline, Corey. I wonder if it's on him.
It
Number
is.
2, yep, and he just threw his helmet down. Unbelievable. Craig has 3 interceptions on the season
and
for the Hornets, and Coach Steve Norman wants that explanation right now.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you get 2 unsportsmanlike called
That's
on
true.
you will be ejected from the contest. And that's a situation to where you're looking at a young man whose senior night ended early here at Clem Richardson Stadium.
You see Carl McDowell right there, official, pulls out his notepad and pencil as they making notes of this situation, and Craig walking on the sideline visibly upset. He threw his helmet down when he came to the Baker sideline. So cool. Unfortunate for the young man. We watched him walk across the field on senior night. They're getting introduced tonight.
We did, and the touchdown stands for the Baker Hornets, and it looks like it's going to be right at a 31-yard touchdown that is going to be given to the Panthers, but great blocking, good job of bouncing it to the outside. Khalil Johnson stepping in for Ferris Wheeler.
Doing great.
So far.
Doing great.
57 yards so far on 9 rushes by Khalil Johnson.
He's coming in doing a great job. He is picking up the load and toting it quite well.
15 yards, both of them will be on the kickoff.
Edie Bingy on for the extra point here. He's 8 for 11 on the season with extra points. And Bingy kind of puts that one off to the left, Corey. Well, excuse me, it is good. So we're tied up 7-7. Corey, how about that scoring drive right there?
4 plays, 52 yards, and that's the most explosive that we've seen this Murphy Panther offense be all night. You mentioned earlier, I misspoke about them having it inside the 20-yard line with that missed field goal, but they were able to cash in there, and at 6:41 remaining here in the second quarter, we're knotted up at 7.
Let's take it down to the sidelines, check in with Mike Herndon. What's going on, Mike?
I'm here with our Director of Communications, Renee Phillips, to talk a little bit more about the students returning to campuses. Monday's going to be a lot different with students on our campus. How will that go?
That's right. So we're excited that we're going to be welcoming back students who want to come back on Monday. It's going to look different. We're going to have masks. We're going to be doing social distancing. We're going to be cleaning constantly. But I've talked to teachers, principals. They are so excited to be welcoming kids back.
And you were at a school on Monday. We have had a few students come back already. Tell me about Callahan School for the Deaf and Blind on Monday.
That's right. So on Monday, we welcome back some of our students with special needs. So I was at Callahan School. There was lots of laughter. There was giggling. There's even some happy tears. The students were glad to be back. They love their teachers. Even though they're socially distancing and doing it differently, you still feel that love between that student and that teacher, and we're going to see that again on Monday.
Now tell us which students will be coming back tomorrow, and tell us a little bit about how their day is going to look different.
That's right. So on Monday, we're welcoming back pre-K, kindergarten, 1st, 6th, and 9th grade so that we can spread out. And then over the next 2 Mondays, we'll welcome back more students. We're going to be wearing masks if you're in grades 2 and up. We're going to be spreading students out as much as we can with social distancing. Some students will be eating lunch and breakfast in their classrooms. We're going to limit the movement in the hallways. And we're going to have constant cleaning with a disinfectant that does fight COVID-19.
And what are some things parents can do to help us guard against the spread of the virus?
That's right. So one thing that we do know as we go back, we will have COVID-19 cases. And so what we need parents to do is to help us to fight that and keep those numbers down. So the main thing is monitor your child's health, take their temperature. If they have a fever, if they're sick, leave them at home. Do not bring them to school if they're sick.
Thank you much. We'll look forward to seeing the students on Monday.
Thank you, Mike. We appreciate that. Also coming up at halftime, we're going to have a back-to-school video that we'll play during halftime to give you information about the return to school for some of the kids here in the Mobile County Public School System. Coach Norman called a timeout right before the kickoff. It appears as if after those 2 penalties, Murphy will be kicking the ball off at the Baker 30-yard line, but Coach Norman didn't like something he saw on the field with his guys going out there, so he called the timeout and burned one there.
Well, you just want to make sure that you had the correct personnel in the football game with the ejection that took place by Ladarian Craig, because he probably played on special teams for the Hornets also.
And I was going to say, I'm sitting here thinking about it. Murphy does special teams by committee. Corey, I wonder if an onside kick could be attempted right here. What do you have to lose? You're on the 30-yard line of your opponent.
I say you go ahead and kick it through the back of the end zone. Don't give your opponent an opportunity to score on special teams. Make them earn it the old-fashioned way and go the 80-yard route.
Yeah, I wonder if that's why Coach Norman called that timeout. He has his hooligans ready. Here's Edie Bingy. Corey, I've never seen a kickoff from the 30, and there it is on the ground as he squibs it. And Baker's going to pick it up. Coming out of the end zone for them. The Panthers with a great run. Great run by the Hornets as they jump on that one. Looks like Kel Bridford. And Corey, he salvaged something that could have been tremendously bad as he picks it up right there. And Bridford comes to the near side and takes it to the 50-yard line.
Well, again, you had an opportunity there to go almost 99 yards, and you were one player away from taking it to the house, but you have great field position nonetheless right here at 6:29 remaining in the second quarter at a 7-7 game. You know the no heat timeouts tonight, so Baker, they're going to try to capitalize off that kickoff momentum.
Landon Larry looking to air this one out. Has Javen Williams just past the outstretched hands of Williams. Incomplete. It'll be second down. Baker went for the kill shot there.
You might as well on first down. You're right there at midfield. Offensive coordinator Justin Patterson does dial up the kill shot right there. And in defense, we've seen a lot tonight. Deshaun Brooks being very active in the secondary.
Right.
Not necessarily being picked on, but that's where they're looking to throw the football, and that's the side of the field that Deshaun Brooks is playing on.
Hornets coming out of this muddle huddle right here, under 10 seconds on the play clock. Larry over the center. Jamari Hawkins on the jet sweep. Cuts it up the middle. Nice gain. He's going to pick up the first down. And it looks like this little rugby scrum is going to end at the 39-yard line. So nice run by Jamari Hawkins.
Stopped by Jaquan Evans, the defensive end. Came in with 7.5 sacks, but you look at the shiftiness and the speed of Hawkins.
Yeah.
We saw him score on a very similar run early.
Correct.
And Hawkins now has 3 rushes for 47 yards with 1 touchdown. And I love the muddle huddle because if you come out of it, you can get a quick snap. You can catch the defense kind of on their heels a little bit because it's hard to match up formation-wise.
Larry under center once again. Hawkins goes into motion. They fake it, give it to Deontay Smith, and boom, brought down to the ground by Jalen Williams, Corey, all in the backfield.
10th solo tackle on the season, his 5th tackle for loss, as the big defensive tackle from being a senior shows his experience, staying at home, being able to shed the offensive lineman there.
Yeah.
Now it's going to bring up 2nd down and 11 yards to go for the Hornets.
1 yard loss right there on Deontay Smith. Hornets looking to the sidelines as we approach 5 minutes remaining here in the first half. Don't forget, halftime, we have the band coming up. The Baker Band's going to play for us, Corey. We didn't get a chance to see Blunt or MGM last week. They're going to play. And also, we're going to have a back-to-school video for you, and we'll take a look at some first half stats as a flag comes in before that play got off. Let's see what the call is going to be.
Blue. Prior to the snap, had a false start.
So a false start on the Hornets.
5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Push them back to the 45-yard line. Coming up later on, Corey, see if you can redeem yourself from last week. We'll have the Game of the Week Brain Buster. So far, you're 3-1 on the season. Your first L last week, Corey.
I did take it, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. So I'm going to have an opportunity to try to redeem myself.
We'll have that coming up sometime in the 3rd quarter. I see you got your buddy over there, John Thaler from AL.com. Try to phone a friend or tap a friend or Instagram a friend. Little screen set up here for the Panthers. They cannot get that executed. That's going to take them to 3rd and long.
Tyler Jones, the fullback, trying to slip out after all the defensive linemen try to rush and sack the quarterback. And he's a fullback and a senior in that situation, and if he would have made a good throw and been able to keep his footing, he probably would have got back to the original line of scrimmage. But now Baker exchanging personnel here on a 3rd down and 16 yards to go.
Trip receivers to the top. Larry in an empty set backfield. Zips that one across the middle, and Javen Williams hauls it in. Let's see where the spot is going to be. Wow, nice catch by Javen Williams. I think he's going to have enough for a 1st down.
9th reception of the season, and he's going to be getting that 1st down as he's able to hold on. And it was a nice rodeo-style tackle by Javante Carter, the young man we've seen play both ways for the Murphy Panthers so far. But right down to the 28-yard line are the Baker Hornets.
Wildcat formation, Jay-Sean McMillan in the backfield. Hawkins goes across, fakes the jet sweep, and that is not Landon Larry, as Tony Scarborough is all in my ear, Corey. That is Jay-Sean McMillan at the Wildcat.
It is Jay-Sean, and that's the package that he feels comfortable running. And anytime you have a new quarterback in the game, you have to make sure you had a good snap, and they're going to go right back to that Wildcat, so you want to make sure that he does get a good snap.
Ball on 23-yard line, and McMillan appears to have drawn the Panthers offsides.
2nd time tonight we've seen that hard count go against the Murphy Panthers.
On the defense, 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
So not enough for the 1st down. They're going to be just shy of it, or no correction, Sean Kelly. The chains are moving. So it's 1st down for the Hornets inside of the red zone. 2nd time tonight. They're going to spot this ball. Looks at about the 17-yard line, Corey.
It will be at the 17, Al, as the Wildcat formation is still in effect.
And that one off to Jamari Hawkins. He scored on a play similar to this in the 1st quarter as he gets up to the 10-yard line. A couple of weeks ago when Murphy played Theodore, they couldn't quite get the spark going, and we saw them go to a formation like this as they brought in Rayshawn Kidd Bryant. Kind of gave them a spark as they tried to get back in the ballgame. They did end up losing to Theodore, but this Wildcat can help a team out sometimes.
No question about it. Tanaka Scott on the stop, and McMillan's getting right back in the Wildcat for the Hornets.
Second down, he has enough to get the first down without scoring, and he slips up. Corey, the turf monster, I believe, has made an appearance tonight here at Hornet Stadium.
Rayshawn Kidd Bryant did a good job trying to stop containment, and because he made the running back cut upfield just a shade, he trips and falls. But look at the containment right there.
There's the turf monster.
And again, that's tough in this situation. Now you're looking at 3rd down and 2 yards to go with the same exact formation, and they're going to get another encroachment penalty by the Panthers.
That looks like Rayshawn Kidd Bryant jumped over there. He is upset with himself.
And rightfully so, because that's the 2nd time on this drive.
Snap. We had encroachment on the defense. 5-yard penalty be a first down.
Ball placed just inside the 5-yard line. And the Hornets clearly in the scoring zone right now as they're sticking with this Wildcat package. Handed off to Hawkins. He's trying to cut back up the middle. Stretching out. He's going to be short. I think he'll be at the 1-yard line, Corey.
He is going to be right at the 1-yard line. Let's see if the Baker Hornets go tempo in this situation. They are going to continue to go tempo.
Right.
Have the Murphy Panthers on their heels, and McMillan's back at quarterback.
McMillan's going to keep that one and just step right into the end zone for a 1-yard touchdown. The Hornets extend their lead.
And you look at McMillan, he goes over 80 rushing attempts on the season, and he has close to 400 rushing yards. But that one was predicated as they got down to the 40-yard line. We're going to go Wildcat with McMillan to get us where we needed to be. 6 more points for the Baker Hornets on the board.
Peyton Ingle on for the extra point. The kick is up, and it is good. Baker on top, 14-7. 2:01 remaining here in the half. We'll be back with more action. This is the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
What's the matter, baby? You're not feeling good?
School-aged children are at a higher risk of getting and spreading germs and viruses. To help protect the spread, students are encouraged to stay home when sick. Parents, it's important for your child to remain at home at least 24 hours after they no longer have a fever of 100 degrees or higher without the use of medications. Please help us maintain a healthy learning environment.
At Mobile County Public Schools, we believe it starts with us. That's why we offer Signature Academies.
I'm Tracy Tran, and I'm in the Healthcare and Dental Academy at Theodore High School. In the Dental Academy, I'm working alongside dental professionals getting hands-on training from those already working in the industry. Shadowing them on the job makes me want to work even harder because now I know what I want to be.
Signature Academies are open to all students in Mobile County Public High Schools. To find out more, visit mcpss.com.
We welcome you back to Clem Richardson Stadium here on the campus of Baker High School. Baker on top, 14-7 inside of the Hornets' nest. Good ball game we have so far, Corey.
Knew it would be. Now let's see how the Murphy Panthers are able to respond here, running their 2-minute drill with 2:01 remaining here in the first half of action.
Ingle's going to just pooch kick this one. And the Panthers are going to fair catch that one.
Some scores from around the Mobile Baldwin County area at Ladd Peoples Stadium. Williamson leading Jackson 14-13. And over in Daphne leading Bryant 21-3. Other scores, 7-7, Spanish Fort in Saraland, and Faith Academy and UMS Wright tied at 7 apiece. St. Paul's leads Satsuma 28-0.
Most of those games in the second quarter?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
They are in the second.
1st and 10 here for the Panthers at the 30-yard line. Hand out to Khalil Johnson. He's been running very well tonight. Tries to spin out of a tackle and is brought down for about a 2 or 3 yard gain.
And when you start talking about Terry Waters from his free safety position, the 5'11", 185-pound senior plays both ways, but you have a good gain on first down, and we got a steady dose of Johnson on that last drive by the Murphy Panthers.
Howell looking to air it out. Tanaka Scott is open, throws it just a bit far outside. Kel Britford was giving coverage there. Be third down, coming up by 7 yards for Murphy.
That's the shot that I love for Murphy to take.
Yeah.
Because, again, Tanaka Scott, if you put enough air under that ball with his 6'4" frame, he's either able to go up and get it and or catch it in stride. Third down and 7 yards to go now for the Murphy Panthers. Be interesting to see what they decide to call here, because you don't want to give the Baker Hornets back the football on your side of the field.
And speaking of calling, Rico Jackson is the offensive coordinator. Alex Howell was over there talking to him. Play clock down to 2-1. They get the snap off just in time. They go back to Johnson. He's got room and hops over the 40-yard line, and that hop helped him out. He's at the 41. That's a first down.
Does pick it up, but there's 1:15 remaining here in the second quarter. The
Need
clock
tempo.
stops
Need
for
tempo.
them to set the ball, but you do have to have tempo here with the ball being on the right hash. You look at the replay, and a hard run by Khalil Johnson, being able to bounce to the outside, picking up the first down.
Chain gang's moving a little slow tonight, Corey, for some reason. I don't know what's going on with them. A couple times first downs have been indicated, and they're just kind of waiting around.
You do clock the football, save yourself a timeout in that situation. We'll bring up second down and 10 yards to go.
Well, the down marker still says first down, Corey, so I don't know.
I think it's second down because he did clock the football in that situation because the
Right.
clock is
There
stopped.
we go. Like I just said, the chain gang's kind of moving a little slow tonight, man. I don't know what is happening because Howell did clock the ball. Howell takes a snap, gets the quick out to Reynolds, and he is pushed back. I'm sorry, Deshaun Brooks with the reception and brought down, but that's a significant loss. And I believe Coach Jackson's going to call the timeout right there, Corey, to stop the clock.
Jordan McNeil closing quickly from his cornerback position. 5'10", 170-pound senior, makes his 8th solo tackle of the season, his 3rd tackle for loss, and just did it in textbook fashion in that situation. Now you're looking at the Murphy Panthers looking at third down and 17 yards to go with the football at their own 34-yard line. You have a situation here to where whatever you call, you've had success bouncing the football to the outside to Khalil Johnson. You definitely want to try to flip the field if you don't get this first down, because with 1 minute remaining or less than a minute after this play right here is run, Baker still has an opportunity if you don't pick up this first down to go ahead and get their offense on the field, if nothing else, to attempt a long field goal if they get in range.
Baker still has 2 timeouts in their back pocket as well, so Coach Norman has that to use if he needs to, if they get the ball back. So ball on the 34-yard line of Murphy. 3rd and 14 coming up here. They fake the screen to Tanaka Scott, and wide open is Khalil Johnson running down the sidelines. 20-10, and he is brought down, but did he step out of bounds? I don't believe so, Corey. They're going to mark him down at the 5 or 6 yard line. Great play call there from Coach Rico Jackson.
And you look at an explosive play, the first by the Murphy Panthers. Good job of Alex Howell being patient in the pocket, pump fakes, puts it on the money, catches his really running back in stride in that situation, and there's going to be a timeout called by the Baker Hornets.
Calls timeout.
As J.C. Todd, defensive coordinator, is not happy at all with them giving up. That's a 60-yard explosive play.
Touchdown saving tackle by Calvin Irby, the sophomore of the Hornets, as he hawked down Khalil Johnson there, because Johnson was in stride heading for the pay dirt, Curry.
He really was, and I don't think he even felt the defender closing in on him, but you're exactly right. That saved for sure 6 points for the Murphy Panthers, but on third down and 17 yards to go, you saw an excellent design play by the Murphy offense. I'm not sure if that's a busted coverage or
Right.
what, but no matter what, 1st and goal for the Panthers.
We weren't busted tonight. Firehouse Subs came through. Jim and Susie Sherman at the Greenlight Road location. Thanks to them, as always, Corey. The treats were just unbelievable. So thanks to Firehouse Subs for what they do for us here at the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. So it is 1st and goal for the Panthers. Looks like the ball's on the 6-yard line, I believe. That was a huge play for Murphy. They're going to give it back to Khalil Johnson. Let him get his glory, man. That's a touchdown. Khalil Johnson, 6-yard run as he punches it in the end zone.
Young man who came in, made his 5th reception, now has over 75 yards receiving, also has his 3rd rushing touchdown of the season. Murphy Panthers 1 point away from tying this contest at 14 apiece.
Now, Corey, on Edie Bingy's last extra point, I thought it was no good. I thought the field goal was actually good, but they called that one no good, and they called his extra point no good. I mean, called it good. So let's see what happens here. Edie Bingy puts that one. Now, that one looks good to me, Corey. We're tied up 14-14. We'll be back with more action. It's the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
When it comes to getting your child through school, at times it can be overwhelming.
What school to choose, what classes to take, how to apply for college.
To help answer these questions and more, we would like to invite you to join us on Parent Connect as we take an in-depth look at some of the issues and concerns you may have about your child's education.
So get connected with Parent Connect, weekly right here on the MCPSS TV network.
Hello, I'm Katrina Frazier.
And I'm Deborah Robinson, and we would like to be your next realtors. As homeowners, we know how confusing it can be searching to find that perfect home that fits your needs and budget.
For that reason, it's important to have a reliable partner to represent you and to be there for every step of your home buying process. You'll find the services offered through Berkshire Hathaway, Home Services Cooper & Company Realtors are second to none.
So whether you are buying or selling your home, call us today and let our experience work for you.
Welcome back to the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. We're all notched up at 14 apiece here in the second quarter. That kickoff goes out of bounds. That results in a flag. So it looks like Baker's going to just possibly take this yardage, Corey.
Kick out of bounds on the kicking team. Going to take the 5-yard penalty and re-kick.
So they're going to re-kick then.
Yeah, I mean, Al, you talked about the games that have come down over the last 5 years. Looking at Baker, 31-28 winners last year.
31-28.
And we're heading toward that same type of finish that we talked about again at the top of the broadcast. These two teams know what's at stake, and they're going to lay it all on the line these next 24 minutes, going into halftime, making the adjustments.
Last time Murphy lost 3 in a row was in 2018. They lost to McGill last week and Theodore the week before that. And the last time Baker won 4 in a row was back in 2015. As one of the up guys is going to take that. That's Terry Waters. Gets up to about the 41, 42-yard line. So we have 34.2 seconds remaining here, and Baker has the ball at the 41-yard line.
What I was impressed with, though, by the Murphy Panthers is they got that ball with 2:01 remaining. And when they had the ball at 2:01, you knew you had to get your 2-minute offense in.
Yep.
Then on top of that, Al, you had 3rd down and 17 yards to go, and you still found a way to convert. Khalil Johnson being a workhorse, 12 rushes, 73 yards, 2 touchdowns tonight so far for the Panthers.
Stepping up big time.
That unsportsmanlike on the kicking team. Be a 15-yard penalty and 1st down.
Corey, that's like the 5th or 6th unsportsmanlike in this ball game total tonight. So a lot of emotions going on from these young men.
Well, you have to be careful because we did see Ladarian Craig get 2 called on him, very similar to what I saw at Saraland and Blunt on a Saturday afternoon at Ladd Stadium. Very rare that you see one player without a fight occurring get 2 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties, but you have to be aware of that as coaches and as players, knowing now that if I have one more, I will be ejected from the contest. Now the Baker offense takes over, trying to get a score here in excellent field position at the Panthers' 45-yard line.
I was just about to say, Corey, they have gone from their 41 to the Murphy 45, and here's an opportunity where they could possibly get some points on the board. Larry looking to air that one out. Incomplete. Could not connect with Ja'Shawn McMillan. It'll be second down, but it stops the clock. Yeah, right at 30 seconds here.
And I like the way Ja'Shawn McMillan tried to kind of sell the call a little bit. He was on a straight seam route. As the running back, he lined up out wide, and, you know, even if you put that ball on the money and he makes it, you're in great field goal position, but you still, at this point in time in the game and of the half, have an opportunity to take a couple shots.
Second down, Larry's just going to keep this one.
Landon Larry on the quarterback keeper, brought down by number 29.
And that possibly may end up, well, two more flags down, Corey.
Unsportsmanlike again, because the referees come in hard. I'm not quite sure if we will have another unsportsmanlike or we'll just have a holding call against Murphy.
20 seconds remaining here in the first half.
Sean Kelly and his crew discussing it.
They've gotten the pad out.
Yeah, you know what that means.
Unsportsmanlike on the defense. It's a 15-yard penalty, a first down.
There's going to be some talking done to some young men at halftime tonight, Corey.
Well, here within the last 2 minutes of play, really within this quarter, we've probably had over 75 yards combined in unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. They have to clean that up here in the second half, especially like I just mentioned moments ago. To stay in this game, you cannot afford to have your number written down on that pad a second time, or you'll get the early break.
Now the ball marked ready to play, 31-yard line. Larry completes it to Javen Williams. Baker needs to do a timeout or kill. I think they need to do the timeout if they can.
They'll be able to kill the clock, get the first down. They got it, stops the clock.
That stops the clock momentarily as the chain game moves, so he does kill it. And the clock, unfortunately, is still running. And, of course, Steve Norman does not like that. So maybe he wants to keep that last timeout in his back pocket just in case. Some time should be put back on the game clock, Corey.
I would say probably maybe 3 more seconds should be added to that clock.
Yeah,
and they're going to talk about it and talk to our clock operator, Ron Morgan, giving him that shout-out tonight.
Well, no time added. So it looks like we're going to get a 34-yard field goal attempt from Peyton Engel. He prefers to kick it more so on the right hash, but this one is almost toward the middle, Corey. So 6 seconds is now on the game clock, so they did give him some time. Ball marked, ready to play. Here's the snap. I heard a whistle. Engel's kick is good, but a flag came out, Corey.
That's huge that it was good.
I mean, it was barely good. Offsides against Murphy. So that pushes it 5 yards closer.
And that one was true. It went through the uprights.
It barely made it, but it was good.
And if I'm not mistaken, they took over at their 45-yard line.
They were at the 45-yard line of Murphy.
Had a dead ball, unsportsmanlike. Encroachment on the defense. It's a 5-yard penalty.
You've called unsportsmanlike so many times, I guarantee it gets embedded in you as an official.
It looks as if this one's going to be a 27-yard attempt for Engel. Or maybe, I'm sorry, 28-yard. We'll call it 28 yards here. This kick is up, and it is true, Corey. So Baker benefits. And at the end of the half, it is 17-14 with no time remaining on the clock.
And we'll assess that.
Is that another flag?
That's going to be a personal foul.
Wow.
Not sure it's unsportsmanlike. I think it's just going to be a personal foul. And we'll see if we'll assess that on the kickoff to start the second half.
Man, Sean Kelly is getting some screen time tonight, Corey.
No question about it. Screen time that I know he does not like,
right?
Nor does he want. We've done pretty good time-wise here in the first half.
Just 10 after 8, right.
And considering we've had close to probably 10 total, they're going to decline this penalty. with the field goal being good.
Penalty is declined. The field goal count.
So the penalty declined. Baker
14 at halftime.
benefits from 2 unsportsmanlike conducts and an offsides, Corey, as they move the ball from the 45-yard line, and they get enough yardage to get a last-second field goal as we go into halftime.
Yeah, that's huge as far as from a momentum standpoint in a game that could have been 14-14
easily
going into the half, and instead it's 17-14. Now, with that being said, Al, the adjustments that have to be made in the second half are obvious. Clean up the penalties for both teams.
Right.
You don't want to get anybody disqualified in an excellent play game here in the first half of play. So when you look at the second half adjustments that are going to be made, they have to make sure, Al, that they go ahead and protect the football, as turnovers have been a small factor in tonight's game.
But penalties have been a huge factor tonight, as we saw one Baker player being tossed, LaDarian Craig, as he picked up 2 unsportsmanlike, and also players being affected. Khalil Johnson has made a significant impact, 2 touchdowns for Murphy tonight.
Standing in for Tharis Wheeler, who did not get the playing ability tonight due to his injured ankle, but because of it, you need to be the next man up and step up like you're capable of doing, and that's exactly what has happened for the Murphy Panthers. A couple of good sustained drives here in the second half, rushing the football. But it's going to be a chess match in the second half. Who's going to make the adjustments? Who's going to clean things up? But we're going to have a great finish.
Let's take it to a break. We'll come back with halftime activities here at the Hornets' Nest. Baker on top, 17-14 over Murphy. Boy, this is a good one.
Hello, my name is Kyla Brown, and I am redefining ready. I'm taking AP and dual enrollment courses that will help me earn college credits while in high school. I am studying dental science that will assist me in my career choice of becoming a dentist. I am a Student Government Association representative and actively involved in other activities around my school and community. And this is how I am redefining ready.
An exciting end to the first half there. Coach Norman, how big is it to get those points right before halftime and take momentum into the locker room?
It's always huge. Every time we go in at halftime, it's the most important time to have points on the board. Even if it's just 3 points, it doesn't matter. We got to get some points before we go inside to get adjustments done.
A lot of passion out there on the field tonight. What do you tell them at halftime to settle them down a little bit, and what do you need to do to close this out in the second half?
We have got to stop hurting ourselves. Like I said before, we're shooting ourselves in the foot, personal fouls, bad penalties, and if we would correct our mistakes we're making, we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
Man. Thanks, brother.
We'll be back with more halftime action. Baker on top, 17-14. It's the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
All right, give me a spot. You know my motto, safety first.
They could be dangerous. I think we should call animal control.
Animal control?
To be safe.
Don't worry.
Just...
I got this. It's a new motto.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
I'm Todd.
And I'm Terry, and we'd like to invite you to join us as we take a look at nature in ways that you've never seen before.
Come travel with us as we go coast to coast to uncover some of the most interesting animals.
And some of the most beautiful scenery that's offered outdoors.
You can join us on our nature adventures right here on the MCPSS TV network.
A teacher is one of the biggest investors in a community.
They impact the lives of those we value the most.
Teachers share knowledge which helps shape and mold our future leaders.
Teachers show direction and help build a sense of purpose.
Are you ready to make a change? For more information on teaching opportunities, teacher incentives, or to apply with the Mobile County Public Schools, log on to www.mcpss.com.
I believe my child's school is probably one of the best ones I could have picked in Mobile. She's in the PACE program. The teachers are phenomenal. The principal, couldn't ask for a better principal. The research that I had done myself, I believe the quality of education in Mobile County Public School System is excellent. For me and my child, I'm going to stick with the public school system. I think it's the way to go.
Hello, I'm Renee Phillips, your host of Homeroom. Will you join us as we talk with the students, teachers, and staff about all of the great things happening in our schools?
That's right, Renee. Not only are we here to keep you informed about the great things happening in our schools, but to also keep you updated on safety issues.
Our show, Safe Schools, looks at ways to keep your child and our students safe.
Not only are we looking at ways to keep your child and our students safe, but to keep you informed on how to connect with us.
Manténgase informado aquí en Conexión a Padres.
And we also score big from pre-K to high school with MCPSS athletics.
And then Inside Education puts it all together for you, showing you the ins and outs about news and events taking place across the Mobile County Public School District. We do this to keep you informed.
It is halftime here inside the Hornets' Nest at Clem Richardson Stadium. The Baker Hornets band has walked out onto the field. You know, we have social distancing things going on, so they are set up and ready to perform at halftime here at the Baker Murphy ball game. Hope you enjoy it.
The proud of Baker High School marching band. Ladies and gentlemen, the Florida Baker High School Marching Band.
And there's the pride of the Baker High School Marching Band giving you their sounds tonight. We'll be back with the video about back to school. Don't move. It is halftime for the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
The Environmental Studies Center is a natural sciences education facility designed to provide unique learning experiences. In addition, wildlife rehabilitation plays a vital role each day at the center. Featuring more than 500 acres of rich woodlands, the center affords teachers, students, and the general public an opportunity to experience firsthand the natural environment. Environmental Studies Center. It starts with us in the Mobile County Public Schools.
As Alabama's first and largest school system, Mobile County Public Schools prides itself
on the high quality of education we provide our students.
We have been successful over the years in raising our graduation rates
and have been recognized nationally for closing achievement gaps.
We believe that our primary focus is to educate all students to become productive citizens.
This is our commitment to them and to you.
It is halftime here at Hornets Stadium. Baker on top 17-14, moments away from the second half kickoff. We know that school is getting ready to go back into session for those in-person learners, and we have a video prepared to help you as we transition some of our students back to learning during this social time.
Mobile County Public Schools students who choose to return to the classroom may do so this month. We are taking extra precautions to keep our students safe during the COVID-19 pandemic, but we need your help. Before sending your children to school each day, please take their temperature and monitor them for any symptoms related to COVID-19. That includes a new cough, shortness of breath, or loss of taste or smell. If they exhibit any of these symptoms or have a fever of above 100, please keep them home. They should also be kept at home if they have been in close contact with anyone who has tested positive for COVID-19. Signs will be on display at our school buildings and on buses reminding you to make sure that your children are symptom-free before they come to school. We have hired additional nurses to help monitor their well-being while they are at school. Students in grades 2 and up will be required to wear masks at school and on buses. Younger students are also highly encouraged to wear masks. Our custodial staff is sanitizing all areas of our buildings with a disinfectant that has been certified to fight COVID-19. Frequently used surfaces and touch points like desks, door handles, and light switches will be disinfected throughout each school day, and schools will be thoroughly cleaned each evening. Hand sanitizing stations will be available at schools and on buses. Students are encouraged to bring their own water bottles to school as water fountains will be turned off. To encourage social distancing, we are limiting movement within the schools. Elementary students will remain in the same classroom for most of the day. That may include eating lunch in their classroom. Protocols will be in place to limit the number of students in hallways during class changes at middle schools and high schools. Students will be seated further apart in classrooms, and reminders will be posted in hallways to maintain a healthy distance from classmates. Mobile County Public Schools is committed to providing your children with a high-quality education in these challenging times, and we will do this as safely as possible so that we can all continue learning today and leading tomorrow.
Hello, I'm Katrina Frazier.
And I'm Deborah Robinson, and we would like to be your next realtors. As homeowners, we know how confusing it can be searching to find that perfect home that fits your needs and budget.
For that reason, it's important to have a reliable partner to represent you and to be there for every step of your home buying process. You'll find the services offered through Berkshire Hathaway, Home Services Cooper & Company Realtors are second to none.
So whether you are buying or selling your home, call us today and let our experience work for you.
We welcome you back to the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. We're moments away from the second half kickoff, Corey, and we're going to take a look at some of our first half stats as we get these up from the guys in the truck here.
Yeah, I mean, it should be a situation where we're very well balanced. I know our score is 17-14 here at halftime, but you look at the rushing yards, Murphy with 114 rushing yards, Baker with only 60 passing yards. Murphy has 61, Baker has 40 total yards. Murphy has outgained Baker 175-100, but trailed by 3 on the scoreboard. I think there's going to be probably 1 turnover apiece, if I'm not mistaken, in the game. And also penalties have been the critical part of the first half of action. 9 penalties for 60 yards for the Panthers, 2 for 30 called against the Baker Hornets, but those 2 that were called against the Hornets led to a situation where there was a disqualification of a Baker Hornet defensive player, senior Ladarian Craig, who is the starting cornerback for the Baker Hornets, is no longer able to play in this contest. That'll be something to keep your eye on here in the second half, as because of those unsportsmanlike conduct penalties, if you have 2 called against you, you are disqualified from the contest.
Now, Corey, I checked through my notes. I didn't see any turnovers from either team in the first half. We did have a missed field goal by Edie Bingy, a 34-yard attempt. They called it no good. I personally thought it was good, Corey, but I'm not an official on the field. I'm top the press box, but I thought it was good, but that was no good. One thing about these 2 teams, I took some notes. I saw an article Ben Thomas wrote the other day about Baker coming into this ball game with 3 wins in a row. They've outscored their last 2 opponents 119-21. But if you look at the records of those teams, the win-loss records, it was Bryant, Foley, and MGM. Those teams are 3-12, Corey. And if you look at the 3 teams that Murphy has beat, Foley, Davidson, and MGM, they're 3-13. So I kind of felt we would be at a situation where this ball game will kind of be evenly matched up. I'm not surprised at 17-14 Baker right now.
Setting ourselves up for a fantastic finish here at Clem Richardson Stadium. And you look at these 2 teams, again, 75 yards of total offense is what separates us here at half in regards to statistically. 3 points separate us on the scoreboard, and that's a great job of Baker executing and taking advantage of the kick out of bounds and the personal foul being called against them, because now you're able, instead of being 14-14 at halftime, you're looking at a score to where there is a 3-point game. And that's one of the things that Coach Norman wanted to see, was his special teams step up and make a difference in this contest. And right now here at halftime, that is the difference in the game.
And it's kind of like basketball when you're trying to get a 2-for-1 before the quarter ends or the half ends. Baker's going to get the ball back, and they just scored 3 points. So that was huge for them to get that field goal and convert, and now they're going to come back and receive the kickoff. So Coach Norman has an opportunity to get this offense back on the field, Corey.
No question about it. You look at the touchdown that was scored with the Panthers receiving the ball at the 2:01 minute mark in the second quarter. They were able to capitalize, and I thought that was going to be the last score that we had of the half. But again, Baker does a good job with some 36 seconds remaining, capitalizing off of Murphy mistakes. And that's the difference in the scoreboard, Al. But these 2 teams are very evenly matched, and I mentioned it at the beginning of the broadcast. This game right here proves to be a difference maker, whether you're a 3rd or 4th seed in this 7A Region 1 right now.
Yeah, and I like the fact how Khalil Johnson has come in. He stepped up because Ferris Wheeler is out with an ankle injury. Johnson has 2 touchdowns, and you can see the all-purpose activity of Jamari Hawkins. Big 17-yard touchdown in the first quarter, but they continue to kind of feed him and Jayshon McMillan to keep the offense going for the Hornets.
Jayshon McMillan goes into the Wildcat formation, makes a difference for the Hornets. You have the speed of Hawkins that gets to the edge for the Hornets. And again, you mentioned Ferris Wheeler being the leading rusher for the Panthers, not playing tonight.
Correct.
He needed someone else to step in. So far, it's been Khalil Johnson.
All right, we're going to take it down to the field. Second half action is pretty much headed your way as Baker is going to receive this ball. Edie Bingy lining up to kick the ball and back for the Hornets. Ladarian Craig. Jamari Hawkins, also Javin Williams and Terry Waters. Forgot to mention, Craig has been tossed out of the ball game, had 2 unsportsmanlikes against him, and Bingy's kick goes out of bounds. So Baker's going to get some great field position here to start the 3rd quarter.
Will they make them re-kick it? Will they go ahead? It looks like the way Murphy's walking back, Baker will
It does.
ask Murphy to go ahead and kick this football again.
Gonna push him back 5 yards.
This time kicking from their 35.
And PA announcer Tony Scarborough still up in my left ear, Corey. He is on full blast tonight.
And that's one of the things that I know you mentioned
Man.
earlier in the week on one of the local radio stations.
That's
that
right.
No matter what happens, where we're located, we'll definitely be able to hear Tony Scarborough tonight.
Baker and Murphy have met 30 times. Murphy has dominated the series 24-6, but don't forget, Baker has won the last 4 games against Murphy, and tonight it's a huge contest as both of these teams are 3-1 in the region. Corey, you look at Daphne, Theodore, and also Fairhope, kind of leading teams in the region. That's 5 teams, but it's only 4 playoff spots. Great return by Waters as he gets into Panthers territory down to about the 41-yard line of Murphy.
Exactly what you wanted if you're Steve Norman and the Baker Hornets to start the second half of action. Waters with the return. As you look at him having the football, he decides to field it, get some blockers in front of him, does a good job of making a defender overcommit himself, turns it up north and south, sheds a couple of tacklers, and gets that extra yardage. And now the Hornets take over again at the Panthers' 43-yard line.
Well, buddy, I noticed you put on your windbreaker after halftime there. That humidity is going up and the temperature's going down.
No question about it. I had to go ahead and try to warm myself a little bit because it is getting a little chilly up here.
First down and 10, ball on the 43-yard line, and we have our first flag of the second half. False start against the Hornets there. That'll push them back 5 yards. I know that won't make Coach Norman happy at all.
And we saw early in the Future One's forecast that the temperature could drop down to 59 degrees. Currently, it is 63 degrees. Definitely feeling like Mike Herndon said fall is definitely in the air.
No complaints from me, Corey. As I said, I was doing some turf management at the house this morning, following the lead of Coach Stan McCain from last week, and it felt great to cut the grass at, say, like 11:30 rather than 6:30 in the morning and try to beat the heat a couple weeks ago. Jay Sean McMillan kind of taking that one out wide, right to the hash marks. He picks up maybe a yard on the play. It'll be second down and long for the Baker Hornets.
Jaquan Evans does a good job from his defensive end position of not letting him turn it up the field, and brings up a second down and 14 yards to go for the Baker Hornets. And if you're Baker, you don't want to have the first turnover of the contest. You want to make sure that you continue to secure the football. Don't get greedy. You have the 17-14 lead. You want to continue to go ahead and keep this Murphy Panther defense on their heels.
Credit McMillan with 2 yards on that run. Oh, they tried to get the little screen set up there for Jamari Hawkins, and he dropped the magic bean, Corey.
And you talked about him leading this Baker Hornet team in all-purpose yardage.
Right.
That was a catch that I know he would have liked to have had back and see the football all the way in. We've seen him be a difference maker, bouncing to the outside, rushing the football, but there is a flag on the far side of the field.
Way over there after the
Maybe
play
a
ended.
sideline warning possibly against the Panthers.
Yeah, there it is. Sean Kelly motioning. This should be just the warning, not the actual enforcement of the penalty. The next one will be an actual penalty assessed if one occurs.
That preliminary signal given by Sean Kelly, letting the Murphy Panthers coaching staff and players know you got to have a get back, coach.
Get back, coach. Get back, coach. 3rd and 14 coming up here. Landon Larry playing a pretty good ball game tonight. Trying to catch up one of his receivers. 2 guys in the same spot, Corey. I think someone may have run the wrong route. Waters and Hawkins were side by side. They were not socially distanced, Corey.
No, they were not, and the football stayed socially distanced away from Hawkins' body as well.
Yep.
As it did hit him in the hands, he didn't have an opportunity to turn his body around, and you look at good deflection by his own offensive player, Terry Waters.
Terry Waters broke up the
from catching
pass.
that football.
It was intended for Hawkins, and Waters reached back to break it up. Khalil Johnson setting up at his own 10-yard line as he waits the punt from Hunter Eubanks. Eubanks puts his foot into that one. Nice punt.
Lands at about the 19. Goes
And Johnson just stays away from it.
13.
So they're going to spot the ball at the 13-yard line. And nothing for the Hornets there, Corey. They cannot capitalize receiving the ball first in the second half.
They got excellent field position, but unlike right before the half, the Panthers were able to regroup, find a way to help their defense out a little bit, and now it's the Murphy Panthers offense's first time to hit the field here in the second half.
You talked about it earlier. The Panthers went old school with practice this week, Oklahoma drills. They had offense against defense straight up. Coach Jackson said last week they were outmanned and outcoached by McGill, and these guys got to be physical tonight. And we've seen a lot of that. Unfortunately, we've seen a lot of unsportsmanlike penalties against the Panthers as well. Johnson on that carry picks up maybe 1 or 2. It'll be second down for Murphy.
And you look at Murphy all time against Baker being 23-6. And Baker's trying to change that mentality, especially for this graduating class. As Baker has had a lot of success here within the last 5 years against this Panther program.
Credit Johnson with a 2-yard carry. The ball is at the 15-yard line. Coach Jackson deliberately taking his time here. Play clock approaching 10 seconds. End around there for the Panthers. And just falls forward for a slight gain. Deshaun Brooks. I think my producer's trying to tell me something, Corey. It'll be third down for Murphy coming up.
Now, Al, you're at third down and 7 yards to go. How will you play this? In the past, you've run the draw or let Khalil Johnson bounce to the outside. We haven't seen a lot of seam routes being run by this Murphy offensive wide receiving core.
Tanaka Scott at the top of the screen. They hand it off to Khalil Johnson. And Coach Rico Jackson's just going to continue to run it as Johnson gets up to about the 21-yard line. He's going to be short about 2 or 3 yards here.
Yeah, going to bring up fourth down and 2 yards to go. So both teams so far on their first offensive drives of the second half have had to try to put toe to leather, and Tanaka Scott is the punter for the Murphy Panthers.
They have switched. Trevin McDaniel normally handles the duty. So, Corey, be on the lookout. The fake could be on. Scott punted all last year, but this season they brought in Trevin McDaniels. But he puts toe to leather, and a nice punt from Tanaka Scott right there. As Terry Waters fakes out one of the Panthers, crosses the midfield stripe, and he's corkscrewed at the 48-yard line. He was trying to break that one, Corey.
Yeah, Waters does a good job of his initial move, making the first man miss on the kickoff as well as on that punt return. And now the Hornets take over right at the 47-yard line as you look at Scott's punt being fielded by Waters, and you'll see him again make that first defender miss on his shiftiness, and then he goes ahead and tries to bounce it to the outside and gets another 7 or 8 yards. Hornets football now.
Landon Larry in the backfield. Deontay Smith, he hands that one out to him, and Deontay takes it from his fullback position, and that's a big run into Murphy Panthers territory.
Great rush by Deontay Smith. He's the 5'3", 173-pound junior, his 40th rush attempt of the season. Tempo for the Hornets.
Hornets going tempo back to Smith again. Justin Patterson has found him a groove, bringing in fresh legs with Deontay Smith as he picks up about 5 or 6 on that carry.
Runs so low to the ground, again, has over 200 rushing yards of the season. Going to bring second down and 3 yards to go for the Baker Hornets, but isn't it nice to have Jayshawn McMillan along with Deontay Smith and also Jamari Hawkins at your disposal to run the football?
Same formation here for the Hornets. Smith just to the right. Back to him again as Larry fakes it, and he is wrapped up and tackled by the Panthers there. Isaac Williams on the tackle, Corey.
Isaac Williams III does a great job coming up and stopping it for no gain.
Mike Herndon, what's going on the sidelines, buddy? Mike having a little mic difficulty. So we'll check back in with him momentarily. Third down and short here coming up. We're not short, maybe about 5 yards here. Corey lost after that play. Muddle huddle in effect. They bring in Jay-Sean McMillan. Larry's trying to find one of his receivers. Tosses it over the top. Javen Williams, can he bring it in?
Yes.
And Williams hauls it in, Corey, for a 24-yard touchdown from Landon Larry to Javen Williams. Baker increases their lead.
Absolutely outstanding concentration and catch by Javen Williams. His 10th reception of the season, has over 180 yards receiving on the season. And I think he's going to need to stretch himself out, because when he came down, he absolutely stretched himself out for that football. Landon Larry does a good job rolling outside of the pocket, finds his third option down the field, throws it into the end zone, the corner. But look at this concentration, a two-handed stab, rolls over the defender on the play, which the defender on the play was Javante Carter, and he comes away with the catch, and I'm hoping he just had the wind knocked out of him. Looks like he may be cramping in this situation as well. But again, he extended himself to his maximum ability.
Great catch by Williams, and a great shot by our buddy Richard Beatty on the sideline there, Corey. Love that photography there.
Right down the line on top of it, and it looks like he is. It did look like a Jalen Waddle catch that John Bella just reminded me of. Against Missouri last week, he gets bounced between a couple of defenders and comes away with it. But he's up and running now, and an outstanding catch by this young man. And I think it's just because he extended himself too far.
Thanks to our folks at Firehouse Subs. They extended us some greetings once again this week. Jim and Susie Sherman, they set out to eat for us and the crew. So we appreciate them for taking care of us as they always do every week. So enjoy more subs and save more lives. Firehouse Subs. Engel on for the extra point here for Baker as they try to increase their lead to 10 if he can connect here.
The extra point is up.
At the 6:56 mark, the lead is 10, 24-14. Baker on top of Murphy. Boy, it's really getting good now. Don't move. More action headed your way. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
At Mobile County Public Schools, we believe it starts with us. That's why we offer Signature Academies.
Hello, I'm Jordan Clark, and I'm in the Health Service Academy at John L. LaFleur Magnet High School. My future career is to be an obstetrician-gynecologist. With this academy, I'm learning firsthand from people already working in the industry. Shadowing them on the job really makes me want to study hard and work harder towards my career goal.
Signature Academies are open to all students in Mobile County Public High Schools. Visit mcpss.com.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Back to the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. And Corey, that has to be one of my favorite PSAs during the social pandemic with the dad beating the cookie tray.
That is pretty
funny. Trying to cook those chocolate chip cookies. Engel kind of kicks that one short. And smart move by the Panthers just to take the fair catch right there. They have great field position as they're going to set up about the 33 or 34 yard line. Down 10 points here in the third quarter.
4-play, 47-yard scoring drive there for the Baker Hornets, as on the first offensive possession, they weren't able to come away with anything. But on that one, they were able to throw it and extend it, in an outstanding offensive catch for Javon Williams. And let's see if this Murphy Panther offense can open up here, as that was a critical play right before, again, the end of the half for that field goal to be good, because the difference in this game now, instead of a touchdown, is 10 points.
I love the touch that Larry put on that pass. Corey, he's just a junior, so if everything goes well, Coach Norman will have him back next year. He's growing as a young man. That pass is complete for the Panthers as they get that ball out. Al Robinson, our first time calling his name tonight. We called it a few times a couple weeks ago against Davidson, but Al Robinson hauls that one in. And Murphy into Baker territory after one play.
His 10th reception of the season, and you look at the great fake by Alex Howell and almost a block in the back, but he just trips up, and tempo now by the Panthers.
Khalil Johnson dancing, trying to find him a hole to get through. Picks up about 2 yards as Murphy takes it to second down as we approach 6 minutes in the third quarter, Corey.
Douglas Boyce and Davon Smith trying to block down the field for the Panthers. A 1-yard gain on the play for Murphy as they are already into the Hornet territory, and it's important that Murphy go ahead and score here on this possession to continue to make it a one-score game before we hit the fourth quarter mark.
2nd and 9 coming up, also coming up around the corner. The game of the week, Brain Buster. We'll get that question out there for you, Corey. And right there in front of us, Khalil Johnson tackled in the backfield. Wow, Baker is for real tonight on defense.
Again, a wonderful job of Hartman, I do believe, of getting into the backfield for the Hornets and getting a huge tackle for loss, and it's going to bring up 3rd down and 12 yards to go for the Murphy Panthers. We saw them convert on 3rd and 17 earlier.
That's correct.
With the wheel route of Khalil Johnson coming out of the backfield, and instead of going 4 wide, they are going to go 4 wide.
Ball on the 39-yard line. Howell was trying to escape, and boom, he is sacked in the backfield, Corey. And the Baker Hornets are really bringing the heat tonight.
Dwayne Williams, from his linebacker position, 5'11", 200-pound senior, does a good job of in pursuit as Howell tries to step up and steps right in to the grasp of Williams. Another loss for the Panthers, and that'll bring out Tanaka Scott to punt again for the Panthers as the Hornet defense becomes stingy on 3rd down. And as I mentioned in my checklist, that's something that Coach Norman and J.C. Todd wanted to see out of this defense.
Nice punt by Scott as Terry Waters is just going to let that one going to bound and be down at the 5-yard line. So at 4:20 remaining here in the third quarter, Baker will start from their own 5-yard line. Let's get the Brain Buster question up for you, the game of the week Brain Buster. All right, Corey, here we go. When Baker defeated Murphy in 2013, it ended a 23-game losing streak to one team. What team now holds the longest winning streak against Baker? When Baker defeated Murphy in 2013, it ended a 23-game losing streak to one team. What team now holds the longest winning streak against the Hornets? Put on your thinking cap on that one, Corey. I got faith in you. You're only 3-1, brother.
That should have been a multiple choice question. That needed to be multiple choice.
Out of the Wildcat, they handed off to Jamari Hawkins, which they scored too much with.
Too many options there because there's too many opponents that have been played.
Well, think about this, Corey. I'm gonna try to help you out.
One team.
So it was 23 years against Murphy, right? And that ended in 2013. So think of how many teams have been around that long that Baker plays.
Yeah, absolutely.
Think about it like that. It's a lot of schools around here, but how many do Baker play? Wildcat still in formation. McMillan's just going to keep that one, plow up the middle. I believe he may have the first down. So I think where they spot this ball, that should be enough for the first down, Corey.
It is. I mean, and you're fighting in the shadows of your own goal post, and you fight out of there. And the hardest thing to do when you're deep in your own territory like that is to pick up that initial first down to give you a little bit of breathing room.
Right.
And that's exactly what the Hornets and offensive coordinator was able to do. Justin Patterson with the right plays dialed up at the right time deep inside his own territory.
And plus you're running behind an offensive line that's 278 pounds on average, so it's a lot of beef up there. Landon Larry back in. Going to hand that one off to Deontay Smith. Smith with those fresh legs gets across the 20-yard line, takes Baker to second down.
19, Deontay Smith, straight ahead, picks up about 4 yards. Second down and 6 to go for the Hornets.
Now, we talked about it being senior night tonight, one of 3 in a row, as the Hornets, they don't have a homecoming this season. They have Pine Forest out of Pensacola coming in next week, and then they will host Fairhope and then Daphne. So one of 4 games in the row, home games in a row for the Hornets. So they're trying to capitalize, spreading out their senior nights the next 3 weeks, and they're spreading the ball around. Deontay Smith coming in the third quarter, making himself known, Corey.
And again, he has over 200 yards of rushing, but look at him push his offensive line out of the way. Get out of the way, big fella. I'm trying to run and get a first down. He pushes Tyler Jones out of the way and is able to have 5 rushes for 40 yards on the game.
First and 10
This
ball
quarter.
on the 35. Yeah, that's this quarter. Smith did appear in the previous 2 quarters, just didn't touch the rock there. As we approach 2 minutes here remaining in the third quarter. Going by pretty swiftly, if I must say, Corey. Larry trying to connect with his receiver and cannot, overthrows his guy at the top, Kel Britford.
Yeah, and that's a good look. You're looking at Landon Larry, who put that last touchdown pass on the money to Javen Williams. And that one was a little bit high, but he put it in the only place that can be caught, which is by his offensive wide receiver. Didn't give the DB an opportunity to really knock it around, but now second down and 10 yards to go for the Hornets.
Ja'Shawn McMillan in the backfield with Landon Larry. Hawkins goes into motion. They give it to McMillan. Boy, look at the hole right there, right through the A-gap. Corey picks up about 9 yards. Nice run by Ja'Shawn McMillan.
That 1-2 punch is what you could ask for. I mean, Deontay Smith has run very low to the ground, has a low center of gravity.
Right.
Ja'Shawn McMillan now comes out, adjusting his gloves. Doesn't look to be injured at all. But now you're looking at third down and 1 yard to go for the Hornets. And let's see if the Panthers can hold them here at the line of scrimmage.
They've been giving it to Deontay Smith since the third quarter started, and he pays off once again. That's going to be a first down for the Hornets as they are keeping the ball moving here on this drive.
There is a flag on the play, came in late.
Late flag, you're right, right there in the middle of the ball field near the logo.
On the defense, the 5 yards makes it a 1.
All right, so a face mask penalty as the Hornets cross the midfield stripe. They're going to place this ball at the 48-yard line.
First and 10 for the Hornets in Panthers territory.
Deontay Smith just to the left of Landon Larry. And we have a Panther that crosses into the neutral zone. So, Corey, that's going to be offsides right there. Easy 5 yards.
We had encroachment on the defense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Was that big Jabiron Nettles,
It
Corey?
was. When you get that type of weight moving forward, you're definitely not going to get it moving backwards.
Poor fella.
Not going to have that much mass.
Wow. Here comes the muddle huddle once again. One of your favorites this season, Corey, as you think you said earlier in one of the telecasts, they kind of stole this one from Auburn there, the muddle huddle.
I love when Gus Malzahn does that because you just don't know what they're going to come out and do out of it. And that's something Coach Steve Norman loves. Timeout being called by the Hornets.
Yep, Steve Norman calls timeout. The play clock was down to 0, so Baker's going to burn a timeout right there.
44 seconds remaining here in the third period.
Let's take it down to Mike Snowden, see how things going. What's happening, Mike?
Well, part of the reason we're seeing some fresh legs in the Baker backfield is that Ja'Shawn McMillan is cramping. Each of the last 2 series, they've had him over here on his back with his leg raised, trying to work the cramps out of his leg. He's trying to play through it. Let's see how that continues on through the fourth quarter.
Great job. Appreciate that intel there, Mike. That could explain it, Corey, for a lot of reasons. Now, they started this drive at the 5-yard line and had a couple Wildcat formations. Then we saw Smith come in and carry the route.
Well, not only that, I mean, you're looking at a situation to where you've been able to grind the clock, and that's going to be a factor here early in the fourth quarter and later on in this contest, how long can Murphy's defense not be on the field to get Murphy's offense back on the field?
Right.
Now, you can't continue to go 3 and out if you're the Murphy Panthers. You need to find a way to have some type of explosive play. And now that you're at first down and probably 5 yards to go for the Hornets can easily pick up a first down right here and let this be the last play of the third quarter.
Larry hands that one off to Jamari Hawkins on the end around. He is going to be close to a first down, but a flag comes in, and we got getting a little chippiness there on the sidelines of the Hornet sideline, Corey.
And we'll have 2 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. They probably will wind up being offsetting, but we have a Murphy player who's down, and they're tending to him right now on the sidelines, and he was able to bounce up. Isaac Williams III is that player that they're taking a look at for the Murphy Panthers.
And Williams comes out of the Hornet sideline kind of cringing there a little bit. And Sean Kelly and his crew are going to sort this out.
Nice trick play here. You have him showing his speed around the outside as Hawkins. There he is. He lands on top of him. There's the unsportsmanlike. We're going to have a pushback.
Deshaun Brooks in there.
But that was a player who was not involved in the game. So he should be ejected if the referees were able to see it.
I think that was Peyton Ingle, Cora.
During the play, we got holding on the offense. It's a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. After the play, we got a dead ball, unsportsmanlike, on the defense. It's his second unsportsmanlike. He's ejected.
There it is. I mean, we've seen that happen early.
That is correct.
And we mentioned you have to be aware and know what's going on.
I think that may have been Rashad McWhorter, Cora, because I saw him running to the sideline, number 33 for Murphy.
The problem with that is you're normally the second person is who winds up getting caught.
Right.
And you look at the shove that was given, the referees did not really pick up on that one because they had their eyes focused on something else. Right there in front of Baker's sidelines, it's hard to pick up, but nonetheless, it's going to be a 1st and 10 for the Baker Hornets. There's going to be an ejection for the Murphy Panthers.
Correct. I don't know if it's McWhorter or Brooks. I don't see Brooks out on the field myself, number 5. Neither is McWhorter on the field. McWhorter plays free safety, so we'll see how the substitutions go. Direct snap to Deontay Smith, and he takes it up the middle. Corey Green grass in front of him. He beats Tanaka Scott. That's a 34-yard touchdown for Deontay Smith, and he came out of nowhere in the third quarter and has taken over for the Hornets.
It's been the Deontay Smith show after that penalty, and his low center of gravity, you look at him, he takes the direct snap, finds the whole big push by the offensive line. Mateo Guerra, Sam Strickland, Torben Lomack, Tadarius Waiters, and Aiden Earhart do a great job. 76 yards rushing this quarter alone.
Wow.
Off of 7 rushes and 1 touchdown.
Extra point up, and it is good as the Hornets extend their lead 31-14. Baker in control during the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
The Environmental Studies Center is a natural sciences education facility designed to provide unique learning experiences. In addition, wildlife rehabilitation plays a vital role each day at the center. Featuring more than 500 acres of rich woodlands, the center affords teachers, students, and the general public an opportunity to experience firsthand the natural environment. Environmental Studies Center. It starts with us in the Mobile County Public Schools.
Welcome back to the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. All right, Cora, we put the question out there. The Game of the Week brain buster, Deontay Smith, is doing some brain busting right now for the Hornets, here's the question. When Baker defeated Murphy in 2013, it ended a 23-game losing streak to one team. What team now holds the longest winning streak against Baker?
The longest winning streak against Baker. There's been great balance. I'm looking at one of the rivalries.
Okay.
You have MGM, you have Theodore. You know, I'm gonna go old-fashioned. I'm just gonna say Theodore.
Theodore. All right, let's see what the answer is. It is Fairhope. Baker has lost 13 in a row, and Corey has lost 2 in a row, and he and John Vila are besides themselves right now.
Yeah, that's a situation with the Pirates coming in here and Baker going over there.
Now remember last year we had the Baker Fairhope game last year, and it was a 12-game losing streak, and that made it 13 in a row. That ball game was here a year ago. And next week, who does Baker have? Pine Forest, and the week after that, Fairhope right here in the Hornets Nest.
Well, they'll have an opportunity to change that brain buster and go ahead and just change history in that situation. Because
Corey, you're 3-2, but
you know, you needed multiple choice on that one though, because there was too many options. You could have gone 1A through 7A. If you would have said, "What is the 7A program?"
Oh boy,
I probably would have got it.
Alex Howell looking to connect, go deep. That ball's going to come up a little short. Baker tried to pick it off. Back there playing coverage for them. One of the DBs could not get a hold of it. I think the wind actually may have gotten a hold of that ball too, Corey. It is a bit windy here top the press box.
And it is going and blowing against the Murphy Panthers to where it would have caught. Now, it looks like one of Baker Hornets players on the far sidelines is cramping up, but Mike Herndon mentioned it. Jay-Sean McMillan on the sidelines cramping up earlier, and even though the temperatures are much cooler, sometimes that will trick you into not hydrating properly. So you definitely want to make sure that you get those fluids in your system 24 hours prior to playing the contest. But trailing 31-14, Murphy's going to have to continue to go to the air more than they would like here.
That was Emmanuel Williams trying to pick off that pass that got away from him. Linebacker came in for the Hornets. And before you know it, Corey, it is 3rd and 10 for Murphy right here as we're close to wrapping up the third quarter. Between quarters, we're going to take a look at the Alabama Sports Writers Association top 10 polls, and also we'll look at region standings as well. So stick around for that. Find out who is in the top 10 this week across the state.
At 3rd down and 10 yards to go, trailing 31-14. Again, you are kind of forced to go to the passing game a little bit more than you wanted to. We mentioned that I think Murphy had over 100 passing yards in the first half, but now they're going with the draw, which is a safe play to run here on 3rd and long.
Quick handoff to Javante Carter. We were told he would see some action tonight on a hit toward the end of that play, and Carter still on the ground holding his right shoulder, Corey. He picks up the first down, but we're going to have a stoppage in play as he is writhing in pain on the sidelines in front of Baker.
And that would be a huge loss for the Murphy Panthers as they're already down. Ferris Wheeler, their leading rusher.
That's correct.
Now you have one of his backups coming into the game. That only leaves you with 2 running backs, one being Khalil Johnson and the other one being a linebacker by trade, Rayshawn Kidd Bryant, that you're having to make the adjustments trailing 31-14. That's kind of tough.
When you need to know what's happening in Mobile County Public Schools, watch Inside Education with Helena Tyler for all the latest school news and in-depth reports on issues that affect your child right here on the MCPSS TV network. Also, thanks to Future Ones, where you can get team apparel and equipment from baseball to wrestling, all sports in between. Wear the future with Future Ones. Corey, I'm liking my Future One Gator tonight, and I'm also liking the Firehouse subs provided by Jim and Susie Sherman at the Greenlight Road location. They took really good care of us tonight, so enjoy more subs, save more lives. A portion of subs purchase will go to the Firehouse Subs Public Safety Foundation. Firehouse Subs. This is going into the 2nd year for us with Firehouse, Corey.
It is. Just want to thank them for the tremendous job that they do in feeding us and the crew. Looking forward to that. Firehouse Subs each and every Friday night that we have a contest.
Glad to see Carter go off the field on his own power there. Great run from him, picked up the first down. So the ball's at the 46-yard line. And that is the end of the fourth quarter. So the third quarter. And that's where we will start the fourth quarter, Corey, with Baker on top, 31-14.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great contest here, and you're looking at the scoring explosion by the Murphy Panthers as they were leading 17-14 here at halftime, and then you turn around and you give up a couple of touchdowns as Baker stalled on their first drive. They didn't stall on their second and third drive as that third quarter was dominated by the little stick of dynamite for the Baker Hornets.
Deontay Smith. All right, let's take a look at the Alabama Sports Writers Association top 10 polls. We're going to start with 4A. American Christian is still atop the poll at number 1, receiving all 23 first-place votes. The undefeated Mobile Christian Lepers jump from 5 to number 3. Jackson's loss to Thomasville last week moves them out of the top 10, but they pick up 5 votes. Also picking up votes this week are the Williamson Lions with 14 and Viger with 2 votes. Moving over to the 5A poll. Now there's a new number 1. Pleasant Grove defeated former number 1 Central Clay County to take the top spot, and Central Clay drops to number 3 behind number 2 St. Paul's, now picking up 7 first place votes. And for the second week in a row, the Faith Academy Rams hold tight at number 8, along with UMS Wright at 10. Let's take it up to 6A, where there's a new number 1 team. Defending 6A state champ Oxford regains the top spot after Mountain Brooks lost to 7A Thompson last week, which moves Saraland up to number 2 in the poll. Blunt moves up 1 spot to 8 with McGill 1 spot behind at number 9. And in 7A, Thompson keeps the top spot, all 23 first place votes. Hoover, Auburn, Hewitt-Trussville hold on another week at 2, 3, and 4 respectively. And right there in the middle, you have Fairhope, Daphne, and Theodore moving up 1 spot to 6, 7, 8. And that pass attempted for Tanaka Scott. Flags come in, Corey, as Alex Howell went up top to Scott.
Yeah, that's an easy call for
the
officials
there
to make. And if you're in high school, it's not a spot penalty.
Right.
It's only a 15-yard variety. So, to me, that's a good penalty for the Hornets.
I think that may have been only the second or third attempt they've thrown this guy
on the
tonight.
defense. It's a 15-yard penalty. With the yardage, it makes it a first down.
Yeah, we've talked about him punting more than catching balls tonight.
You're exactly right, Al. It always makes me wonder. I know that Rico Jackson told me that going into this game he wanted to target Scott a lot more.
Right.
And tonight, I think he's only been targeted 3 times.
I believe so.
He only has 2 receptions on the contest, not really being a factor yardage-wise.
Howell going deep once again, cannot connect with his receiver, overthrows Reginald Jones. Coach Jackson trying to get this offense going here for the Panthers. Murphy comes into the ball game tonight averaging 15.8 points on offense, and the defense is allowing 14.5, but tonight they've given up 31 as the Hornets offense has come back to life. They scored 50 against Foley, 52 against MGM. I'm sorry, not MGM, but Bryant. So, Corey, at MGM they scored 17. We know why, because we had MGM last week with that flex bone offense that eats up a lot of time on the clock. But now Baker, they're wide open. 31-14 is our score.
Going 5 wide.
Howell has plenty of time. Great blocking from the guys up front. Dumps that one off to his receiver. Terry Waters on the tackle right there as he connected with Josh Reynolds. First down for the Panthers.
Well, you're in a situation now to where at least you get a first down. You have an opportunity to extend this drive, and not only extend this drive, you had an opportunity to continue to give your defense a rest over there on the sidelines. Howell doing a great job with his feet on that last play.
Kel Britford lined up against Tanaka Scott. They hand it off to Khalil Johnson. Going to keep it on the ground. Looks like no gain on the play as the official still marking this one at the 24-yard line. I'm sorry, the 26-yard line.
No gain on the play.
Panthers close to the red zone, 6 yards away. Definitely need to get some quick scores and get the ball back here if they want to get back into this ball game. Down 31-14.
Dwayne Williams doing a good job on the stop for the Baker Hornets. 2nd and 10, and again, passing situation for the Panthers.
Howell's trying to get to Scott, double covered That pass is overthrown. Corey, I think if it was closer to Scott, they may have possibly gotten a call. Two guys were all over him.
What you have to do is you have to put enough air underneath that ball to allow Scott to use his 6'4" frame and go up and high point that football. You can't throw it to the pinpoint to the back of the end zone. You want to throw it up so it's a jump ball situation for Tanaka Scott, because again, he had two defenders converging on him, but those defenders are 5'9" and 5'10" in stature, and Scott can just go over the top of him and get it.
3rd and 10, they hand it off to Khalil Johnson. He has 2 touchdowns tonight. He's been keeping those legs going as he gets up to about the 25-yard line. Picks up about 5 yards, so it's going to be 4th and 5. Decision time here for Coach Rico Jackson. 34-yard field goal by Edie Bingy was no good in the first quarter, so it looks like the Panthers are going to go for it. The ball at the 20-yard line. It appears as if the line to get is the 16, Corey, from what we can see here atop the press box. We have a timeout. Murphy Panthers, their first timeout in the second half. Let's revisit your checklist, Corey.
Yeah, it's important that Baker wanted to get off the field on 3rd down. They wanted to be a stinger, stingy defense. Murphy was able to score once on 4th down, but overall here in the second half, Baker's done a great job of getting Murphy off the field. Limited explosive plays, 20 yards or more is what Baker considered explosive. Murphy's only had a couple of those tonight.
Right.
And great special teams play. We saw that right before the half. Baker kicked that long field goal that made the difference in our halftime score. And on the other half, you look at Murphy, they needed to be physical. They did a good job in the first half of lining up in the trenches, and we were tied at 14 apiece. Scoring in the red zone, Murphy's done a good job of when they get down there, with the exception of the missed field goal early, getting into the red zone and go ahead and getting points and cashing in on that and eliminating Panther penalties. That's been the big difference maker so far in field position, as well as getting some key personnel ejected from the game for both teams.
Great revisit on your checklist there, Corey. Those penalties have truly hurt the Panthers tonight. So 4th down and about 4 here. The line to get is the 16-yard line. I don't know if the Panthers are trying to get them to jump, but no, they call the play. Oh, and they run everyone to one side. And on the other side, Khalil Johnson was wide open, and he dropped it, Corey. He was at the 6-yard line. I know he is disgusted with himself. Oh, my goodness.
That's one you would love to have back. And if you look at that replay, if we're able to pull it up, there was nothing.
No one.
But green grass and the pylon in front of him. Great design play. Alex Howell rolls to his left, throws the football back to his right. And just was not able to come up with it. Khalil Johnson, had he caught that, it definitely would have been a 1st and goal situation. He probably would have walked in and had his 3rd scoring touchdown of the night.
Corey, he could have moonwalked into the end zone. He was so wide open on that one. Poor fella. Wow. Baker's taking over, ball at their 20-yard line. And this is probably going to turn into the Ja'Shawn McMillan or Deontay Smith show if Steve Norman can have it his way, because they're in total control at 31-14.
Yeah, I mean, doing a great job of controlling the football here in the second half as Deontay Smith took over the 3rd quarter. You're looking at going right back to him here, as Ja'Shawn did cramp up, as Mike made mention to, and now you're looking to milk as much time off of the clock as possible if you're the Baker Hornets, leading 31-14.
Landon Larry just taking his time, deliberately working that play clock down, like you said, Corey. Hand off to Deontay Smith. He was the spark in the 3rd quarter for the Hornets. They push him back to the 25-yard line. Take a look at the 7A Region 1 standings right here. As you can see, Baker and Daphne Murphy, all 3-1 in the region. Fairhope right there, 1-1. We know Fairhope is technically behind the game because of Hurricane Sally. They haven't made that game up yet. I believe it was against Davidson. They'll have to make that up. So there's a look right there at the 7A Region 1 standings. You can see how tight it is, Corey.
And it's going to come down to it again, this critical matchup here later on to see who decides to get into the playoffs.
Larry takes a shot to Jamari Hawkins. That was a beautiful play. Could not haul it in just a bit too high. And the punting squad is going to have to come out here at 8:19. Looks like Murphy will get the ball back.
The bad part for the Baker Hornets, the clock stops.
That's right.
The good part is you have a defense that's been fairly fresh here in the second half. Just came away with a stop, not by you, but by a drop pass. Now, the thing is, you're looking at making amends if you're Khalil Johnson for the Murphy Panthers on this return. If he fields it cleanly and takes care of the football, has a chance to go ahead and make up for that drop touchdown.
If I think correctly, Corey, this may be Baker's first punt tonight, possibly. And Johnson muffs it. And that ball right there. And
that is a
it
turnover.
looks as if it's a turnover, Corey. The officials are signaling. And I was just about to say Johnson averages 30 yards of punt return. I don't recall Baker punting the ball tonight. I think that was their first punt.
Just like that,
and
he
just
had a
like
chance
that.
to make amends
Wow.
for dropping that touchdown. And as soon as I say the word drop, I jinxed him
You
because
jinxed him,
he
Corey.
dropped the punt as
Yep.
well.
There it is.
Lunged for it. Probably should have either let it bounce end over end or go ahead and try to get a little bit closer to it before he did field
Johnny
it.
on the spot, Zachary McNeely, the 6', 172-pound senior for Baker. He picks up the loose ball. So it's Baker's ball once again.
Dynamite back at the backfield. Dynamite Deontay.
They hand it off to Jamari Hawkins as he gets up to the 40-yard line as we get to 8 minutes remaining here in the contest. Corey, who are you thinking about for your Career Tech Education Player of the Game?
I like Dynamite Deontay Smith coming in and giving the Hornets that huge lift in the third quarter.
I like Hawkins as well. He's been consistent all night, but Smith really made an impact when he came in the third quarter. So, and looks like they're going to stick with Smith here in the Wildcat. As Mike Herndon talked about, Jay-Sean McMillan cramping up. This is a formation. Normally, McMillan would take this direct snap here in the Wildcat. Hawkins comes in motion. Deontay Smith's going to hit the hole, Corey. Trying to plow to the first down marker. I think he may have enough for a first down.
And I think he was down. They're going to say that Murphy, look at the officials.
Or are they saying it's a fumble?
Well,
I saw the beanbag come in from one of the officials.
Yeah.
And that is a fumble. So that would be our first turnover tonight, Corey.
It would be the first turnover.
Wow.
By the Baker Hornets. Murphy just turned it over earlier on the punt.
That's true.
So now you're looking at Dynamite running low, doesn't take care of the football. Good job
That ball
of
is
ripping
out.
it away. It is truly a fumble recovered by the Panthers. And, you know, you have an opportunity now with the ball at your own 30-yard line.
Murphy down 17 points. They need to score 3 times to get back in this ball game. So we know what's probably coming up here. A heavy dose of passing. They set up the screen for Tanaka Scott, and that goes nowhere as he is wrapped up by Kel Britford, Corey.
Good job of defense by the Baker Hornets, and that's just a missed block on that play with Scott coming back to the football. He can't block and catch at the same time, so somebody has to give him an opportunity and some space there. Second down and 17 yards to go for the Panthers. Now you're putting them in a must-pass situation. Draws are not going to do you any good here, but to just chew up yardage.
And chew up the clock as well. Second down and 15. He's airing it out, trying to get it to Tanaka Scott. 2 defenders, and Kel Britford, that's an interception, Corey. Just made the tackle on Tanaka Scott and hauls in an interception for Kel Britford.
I think we've had back-to-back-to-back turnovers. Murphy was able to run 1 or 2 plays without turning the ball right back over, but a great defensive play by Kel Britford on a taller Tanaka Scott Jr., and he gets on the inside track of that football
Yeah.
And Tanaka wasn't able to fight over the top and try to knock it away.
It looked as if Howell's pass went more inside than over the outside shoulder, where Scott could have just simply let it fall into his arms, but unfortunately that ball went more so inside, and Britford was right. He did have some coverage, some help on the coverage as well.
And Britford, I think, has his first interception of the season.
Yep.
The 5'10", 170-pound junior from his safety position for the Hornets does come away with his first interception of the season.
And just like that, Corey, I have flipped my flip chart once again. The Baker offense back on the field, and they're going back to, as you call him, little dynamite, Deontay Smith, continuing to run the ball as he gets up to the 39-yard line.
I bet you he holds that football high and tight to his body now and makes sure he doesn't put the pigskin on the turf for the Hornets. 2nd down and 3 yards to go. The Panthers have to come away with a stop. I would be surprised here if Baker threw the ball at all.
I would be shocked.
If they're ahead of the sticks, you don't have to throw it.
Simply run the ball as we approach 5 minutes here coming up in the contest. They go back to Deontay Smith, and he's going to have enough for the first down. Corey, you should have quite an interesting report tonight when you call in the Pigskin Pete Show. I heard Scott Todd is sitting in for Pigskin tonight.
He is. Look forward to leaving West Mobile and going downtown to Dolphin Street and trying to recap at least 2 hours worth of football, as this game is now at 9:27. By the time I get down to Dolphin Street, it'll probably close to 10 o'clock.
Well, Corey, the one thing I like about Clem Richardson Stadium, if the band plays loud enough, I can hear them in my backyard, buddy. I got a 2-mile drive. So I always look forward to coming to the Hornets' Nest. 1st and 10 here for the Hornets. Landon Larry taking all the time he can as he hands off to Deontay Smith. He falls ahead for about 2 or 3 as they get close to the midfield stripe. And Murphy's just trying to pull or do whatever they can do to pull the ball out. They're down 3 scores, 31-14.
Absolutely. You want to bleed this clock. We saw MGM a week ago do a good job of controlling time of possession against Blunt. Same thing now here for the last 4 minutes of this contest.
We have a legal procedure. On the offense, we have a 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
So that's going to push the Hornets back a couple of yards, Corey.
Here are some other scores from the Mobile-Baldwin County area. I misspoke earlier. Daphne is playing at Alma Bryant.
Okay.
They lead the Hurricanes 42-22. Williamson leads Jackson 26-21.
That's a tight region contest there.
Spanish Fort leads Saraland 24-21. St. Paul's leads Satsuma 42-15.
Hawkins on the end around there. Get some of that yardage back, Corey. Interesting scores you got coming in.
Theodore leading Davidson 31-0. Blunt leading Robbinsdale 32-20 as well. Cottage Hill Christian defeating Chickasaw 28-0. McGill-Tulin defeats Baldwin County 35-9. And Faith Academy leading UMS Wright 28-21, and that has now gone final.
So that's a region win for the Faith Academy Rams. And Deontay Smith with a double spin and picks up the first down as the Hornets push it to the 45-yard line. If we can get that replay up, Corey, that was something else. It was a short run, but look at Deontay.
He's so
one
compact.
spin, 2 spins.
13 rushes.
Wow.
For 101 yards.
The young man has come in and just simply taken over the contest, and we have a Murphy Panther down on the field right now. That's Isaac Williams, Corey. He leads the team in tackles, has 2 sacks on the season. All right, Corey, let's take a look, see what the guys in the truck have for us here for our Career Tech Education Player of the Game. And there it is. Lil Dynamite came in and took over in that 3rd quarter and into some of the 4th quarter, Corey.
Dynamite Deontay. I love it, Al, that this young man has over 100 yards rushing in the 2nd half alone.
Wow.
And he's doing so for Jay Sean McMillan, who started cramping earlier and
picked him up a 34-yard touchdown as well, too. So, and he's just a junior, Corey.
And he's so short and compact, and you look at him at the double spin move as, you know, glad to see that young man up, not necessarily mobile.
There it is again, Corey. Spin one,
circle
spin
button,
two.
circle button. He hit the circle button twice.
Yeah.
For the Hornets in that nice run move, and that caps off his night to put him over 100 rushing yards. And you sure hope Isaac Williams III is okay. As you look at the Murphy Panthers, you mentioned who they face next week. They will be playing Alma Bryant.
They got Bryant
at
next
Ladd
week.
Stadium, I do believe.
They have Bryant next week, and then they're going to host Daphne, and then they're on a bye. Now, here's the thing: Baker and Murphy have to play Daphne and Fairhope. They've yet to play those two teams. There's the remaining schedule right there for the Panthers. So, as you look into it, with 1, 2, 3, 4 region ball games left, you kind of have to get at least 2 of them, Corey, if you're the Panthers, because getting into the playoffs this year at 4-4, it's going to be a little tough. You might have to have 5 wins to get in this year.
We had a snap infraction.
And here's the remaining schedule for the Hornets.
It's a 5-yard penalty.
So here's the
First down.
3 in a row at home: Murphy, Pine Forest, Fairhope. They had Mir Montgomery here last week, and they have Fairhope, Daphne, and Davidson. So you, right now, with Baker picking up this win, maybe one more gets them to 5 win. A second gets them to 6. They should pretty much be in the playoffs at that point. So Coach Norman right now is on the plus side.
He's happy that his
happy.
team looks like they're going to come away with a big-time region win. And you look at the job that he's done overall a couple of years ago, taking over midseason for Danny Smith.
That's right.
And then 1 year ago, in his first full season as head coach, if I'm not mistaken, 5-5 or 6-4, maybe at least 5-5 a year ago for the Baker Hornets. And this year gets off to a 4-2 start if he gets the win tonight.
All right, next week, let's take a look and see what we have on tap, Corey. Well, we're going to have the Panthers again. It'll be Bryant versus Murphy, and we'll be headed to Ladd Stadium. So make sure you join us. We will go live at 6:55. And if things hold the way they do, it looks like the Panthers will try to bounce back and get them a region win next week. They'll definitely need it. Bryant right now, I believe they're playing Fairhope tonight. Is that correct, Corey? I think they're playing
Daphne.
Fairhope. No, Daphne tonight. That's right.
And I was right.
Fairhope playing MGM tonight.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Baker was 5-5 a year ago.
Yeah,
so
5-5.
Now you're in a situation to where you go to 4-2, and more importantly, 4-1 in your region.
That's huge right there.
If you just hold on to the football here and are able to grind this clock out here at Clem Richardson Stadium.
And I believe you said Theodore was on top of Davidson, so if Theodore gets that win, if everything holds, they'll be 5-0 in the region. That pretty much will seal the deal. They should get a playoff spot right there. Coming out of the muddle huddle at 2:21.
The biggest thing for 7A Region 1, though, Al, is for the last several years, no one from down here, with the exception of McGill-Tulane, has been able to come away with a playoff win.
And in that first round, that's right. That's the big thing.
That's the biggest thing, that you have 4 qualifiers from 7A Region 1. Now that McGill-Tulane has dropped down to 6A Region 1.
That's correct.
Daphne has bumped up to 7A Region 1. You don't have that automatic qualifier or that person that you can lean on for almost that guaranteed 7A Region 1 win. Eric Collier, along with Coach Norman, have talked about that, trying to change that mentality.
Change the culture. That's right.
And get a couple of more wins, at least in that first round of the playoffs.
Because when you have 4 teams that go in, the top 2 seeds are guaranteed a home game. So you have an opportunity where you're not even traveling. And last year we saw that with Theodore. I believe Central Phoenix City came down and beat them in the first round.
Well, the biggest thing is with 7A also, you only have 16 teams.
It's only 16 teams that make the playoffs.
That makes the playoffs.
They have 4 regions. That's it.
And that's all. And so it's huge that you get out of that first round. And if you're able to find a way to host 2 first round and a second round game, you're already in the semifinals.
And then think of the revenue you get off that for your school as well. That's huge.
Without question. And, you know, again, credit Steve Norman and his Baker Hornets team for finding a way to get it done. tonight. And, you know, Rico Jackson on the flip side of this, I know he's going to be extremely disappointed with his team falling to 4-3, 3-2 overall. But, again, they did so without Thayers Wheeler, their leading rusher.
Right.
And a couple of critical turnovers tonight hurt them at the wrong time, penalties as well. But this is a big-time win for this Baker program.
It is. That makes it 5 in a row for Baker. They haven't won 4 in a row since 2015. I'm sorry, that's 4 in a row since 2015, and it's 5 in a row against Murphy. So they're a big, huge win tonight, 31-14, as Coach Norman gets the victory, him and his Baker Hornets.
Yeah, you have to be extremely happy if you're a Hornet hooligan fan, as you heard the band playing extremely loud, having a good time. And there was a great socially distanced crowd here at Clem Richardson Stadium, as these Hornet fans always do a great job of coming out and supporting their teams here in West Mobile. But you had to grind out the clock in the fourth quarter, and the time of possession was in favor of the Baker Hornets in the second half.
It was huge, and the fact that Deontay Smith came in, that was like a jolt for the Hornets. He came in the third quarter and just took off, ran the Wildcat a couple times, picked up a 34-yard touchdown run as well. That young man definitely had an impact, and I can see why he was our Career Tech Education Player of the Game.
Yeah, I mean, Dynamite Deontay, I hope that name sticks with him, because he runs like a little stick of dynamite, but he's so explosive when he runs, so the name definitely fits, and the nickname fits for him. But again, you're looking at what they were able to accomplish as a team, putting 31 points on the board. I know they have to be happy about that.
Let's check in with Mike Herndon. He has winning coach Steve Norman with him.
After a tightly played first half, Baker pulls away in the second. Deontay Smith comes in on offense and runs for just over 100 yards. Coach, tell us a little bit about his performance and how you're able to pull away in the second half.
Yeah, super proud of Deontay. He kind of came in. Jay Sean got some cramps early, so we had to throw him out there. He did a great job pulling us through. Outstanding. I'm super proud of him.
And your defense gave up nothing in the second half, came up with big turnover right there at the end. Talk about their play a little bit.
Outstanding job. I mean, I had a couple people go out, got some injured players, so we had some other kids kind of step up. Coach Todd made some adjustments, did a great job. Great job.
Congratulations, Coach. Good luck the rest of the season.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
All right, Mike, we appreciate that. Corey, let's take a look at the end of the game stats tonight.
Rushing yardage in favor of the Baker Hornets, 197 to 130. Passing yards, Baker only had 64, but 64 yards in passing. One of them was Landon Larry hooking up with Javen Williams for a beautifully thrown touchdown pass. 261 total yards for the Hornets as opposed to 228 for Murphy. 2 turnovers for Murphy, only 1 for Baker. Both teams were penalized for 75 yards worth, 12 times for Murphy and 7 for Baker. Our final score, Baker defeats Murphy 31-17.
Unfortunately, Corey, we had to see 2 players ejected tonight. Rarely do you see 2 players, and it wasn't a fight at all. So unsportsmanlike penalties definitely came into effect tonight for the Panthers. Make sure you check us out next week. We're going to Lad Peoples Stadium. It's going to be Bryant versus Murphy, as Murphy tries to rebound and break this 3-game losing streak that they are on. We'll go live at 6:55. So for Mike Herndon, Corey LeBounty, producer Quentin Howard, director Wade Ford, and our engineer Fran Conway helped us out with the monitor tonight. We appreciate you joining us. Baker gets the win, 31-14. Have yourself a great night.